Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes. It's time for the Comics Aficionados, the best damn comic book podcast and YouTube program you're going to find on the interwebs. Talk about all of your favorite geek stuff. We've got we're going to talk a little bit about comic book collecting, talk about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We've also got Batman Fear State. Obviously, we are talking about collecting because we have a special guest here today, MInt. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, Wes? Thanks for having me on. I'm doing good. Kind of early for me, but we're here.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time and getting up a little bit early, and that is quite the omnibus collection you have there, sir.
You mentioned it, MInt Collectibles. I think a collector at heart, and when I find something that I really am into, man, I just go super hard there. So that was one of them.
It's got to make moving a lot of fun.
I did a big move with it one time, and it's not as bad as you would think, man. You just pack them up like you're ready to ship them, and it takes a lot of boxes.
Absolutely. Also, we got returning from Nerdygirlcreates, Carrie. How you doing, Carrie?
I'm good. How are you doing, Wes?
I'm doing great. How are your strikes going? Did you file your appeal yet?
I'm going to do that today after the live stream because somebody gave me some advice on what to actually do and not go through the regular channels. But hopefully I get it straightened out.
That sucks.
It does suck. It's, reviewing mangas apparently it can be detrimental.
It's Bolton.
Oh, who else we got? We got Drew from Comics League. How you guys doing in Indianapolis?
Doing great here. And I'm surprised Sean and I haven't been struck down for some of the bad reviews we've given to some of these creators. It's pretty shocking.
Ed, you guys got the best covers. You want to show off the cover, or you want to wait for the video tomorrow?
We can wait for the video tomorrow. Yeah.
All right. We got a special Batgirls cover that we're going to be showing off tomorrow with our Best of the Week comics book segment. You guys got any conventions you got coming up?
C2E2. We looked at the guest list for Emerald City, and the cost, it would have been too much for us to go out to Emerald City. And we're like, no, we'll skip it. We're just going to focus on C2E2. That's pretty much our backyard. So
very nice. You gotta reach out to Jervain. He'll probably be there.
Ooh, there we go. That'll be fun.
Yeah. That'll be good. Also, last but not least, we got the co-host of the Comics Aficionados, the man who's been here since day one. How you doing, Doc?
I'm here. No, man. Hey, great to see everybody this morning, and looking forward to talking about this. There's a lot of great topics, and we haven't done a little bit much collecting recently, so I'm down to get back to some of that.
Yep, we've already got people.
Doc's got a great voice, man. Like, that's radio DJ voice, man. It's so smooth in my ears right now.
We've already got viewers making fun of me. We got Yellow Spider-Man. How did you get people's names on the screen? I thought you were too much of a boomer. Well, as long as I don't have a banner up, people's names appear. As soon as I have banners, as you can see, they disappear. It's not me. It's the system. I've figured out how to put somebody's name on the screen. Crazy. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk about whoops. What have I done again? I have not replaced these, apparently. All right, let's talk about the comic book collecting. We have a lot of gimmick marketing that's going on in the comic book industry right now, whether it be Keanu Reeves autographed 1 in 1,000 ratio variants, or autographed, Todd McFarlane 1 in 200 ratio variants that were
CGC
reviewed by CGC. As far as what there goes, or you have all new characters. We saw that a lot in James Tynion's Batman run, or we have massive gender, race, sexuality swaps going on over at DC Comics mostly right now. Obviously, we're going to throw it to you, Jimette. What do you think of the chances are that these are going to be good for speculation and really hold any type of value, or do you think these are only good for limited flips? Because it seems like people go in real hard, but if there's so many of these printed out there, it makes it hard to hold the value.
You know what? It's froze and switched over to the hardwire. Can you ask me the question again?
Well, with what we got going on within the comic books, we're seeing a lot of big spikes as far as sales with gimmick marketing, whether it be like a 1 in 1,000 Keanu Reeves sign variant, the ratio variant, or
Crazy
1 in 250
on that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the Todd McFarlane ratio variant. We've also got all the new characters that James Tynion was doing in Batman. Over at Superman, we've got sexuality swaps, as far as John Kent coming out. And this is definitely booming up the sales as speculators are coming in, collectors are coming in, seeing some type of value on here. Now, I've seen on eBay, it's good for flipping. Do you think these things will hold a long-term value as something that you should be investing some of your time in?
Well, here's the thing. I have mixed feelings about that, because gimmicks has been a thing ever since I've been in comic books, whether it was a foil or hologram cover or killing a character or bringing Superman back as 4 different characters. Which one's the real one? So it's always been a gimmick. And I do think that that kind of stuff is good for the hobby as far as the value of the books and speculators and getting people in. But long term, I think we're all wise enough to know that it doesn't last long term. It's the whole reason why they do new number ones, because the number ones sell good, and then the volume ends on issue 12, and they'll do another number one because that gets the people in. So, is that a good business practice? Just a little spurts? I don't know. It seems like making cool comics all the time would be the best thing to do, but I guess the gimmicks are helping keeping everything afloat. But that's what it is. It's a gimmick. It's not meant to be a long-term thing. It's a quick little spurt.
What are you guys seeing over at Comics Elite, Drew? Are a lot of people coming in for these? It looks like the sales are spiking, or is this just the retailers, going out there and projecting that people are going to be interested?
A lot of it is projection, but I mean, we're going to be honest. 75% of these covers do not hold their value. At least 75% of them will not, especially the ratio ones. They won't hold their value. So normally, typically, like 1 in 100, you would think would hold its value. No, you can get it for $50, probably less than that now. But there are a few rarities that do manage to hold the value. Like we did a deceased number 1 variant with John Jiang. He did our Joker cover a couple years ago when that came out, and that just sold like hotcakes. But that's like fine. That's getting lightning in a bottle. It's very rare trying to get that. But that's all this is. It's short-term money, and it's not good long-term thinking.
Well, that's pretty much the way I've been looking at it and calling it for a good number of years now. It's all short-term sales practices. There's nothing long-term or sustainable about this, and you end up with the law of diminishing returns kicking in. That's why you've seen the frequency of reboots increase, and it will exponentially increase each time, because I mean, when was the first? Well, let's look back. When was the first time they did this? It was in the 90s, right? Yeah, I mean, and then they didn't do it again. I'm trying to
think back if there was something prior to that. I think the events thing was big, right? The first Crisis, that was kind of like, oh, that really boosted sales. Like, let's do this all the time again. You know what I mean?
But there weren't like any multiple covers for those. Those were all like one cover.
They didn't figure that out yet. Yeah. Right, exactly. Yeah. But it was kind of like, it wasn't in continuity with any of their ongoing titles, right? It was like, oh, we just bought a whole new book, right? And it's kind of like a number 1. And yeah, so.
But outside of, let's see, I think Wonder Woman rebooted after that. Superman rebooted. Flash rebooted. Did Green Lantern reboot after Crisis?
I don't know.
There was a series with Bruce, like J.G. Jones and the Pat Broderick. I don't know if I think that was after Crisis, but I don't know if it was directly after.
Okay, so you had a handful of books, but Action, Detective, none of those rebooted. None of the long high issue number books rebooted, but then they didn't reboot again. I mean, even after like 0 Hour, whenever they did that in the 90s, that didn't reboot. It wasn't until New 52 that you had another, after Flashpoint, that you had another reboot. But then ever since, you notice you had like, what would have that have been? 50 years for the first one, like 30 years or 25 years for the second one. 10 years for the 5 years for the third one. It just keeps increasing. And if you look at Marvel, you had 1963 all the way until 1996 for Heroes Reborn before they relaunched. Now you had and then after that, like some of the books like Thor, Captain America and Iron Man would reboot a little more frequently, but it wasn't until let's see. Then they rebooted in
All right,
the
Doc. This isn't a
Marvel
history
Knights.
comic book.
But what my point is, it starts accelerating. The pace accelerates. The
Right.
frequency of it accelerates because every single time it runs out of steam a little faster. It doesn't get as high of a result. Like you don't get the same level of results. So you have to do more and more. Then they started combining their gimmicks. The 90s gimmicks, you started seeing all the variants and everything. Now we're doing the combination of the variant gimmicks plus the reboot gimmicks, plus they added in like ratio stuff.
And the deaths and all that stuff.
And the
What's
deaths,
interesting, Doc, is like the first variants that they started doing, they weren't doing it because they needed variants. They did it because the printing presses couldn't handle the order. Like if they had like 1.4 million copies ordered, they wouldn't be able to handle that in 1 week. So they have to print it out in 3 or 4 weeks. And they would have to do something to differentiate to which week it came out, so there would be a variant to it.
Well, that's what I always liked about the original variants. They weren't intentional. They were organic variants, whether it was a second print or whether it was like, hey, this came in a combo pack. Like, that's cool. But when you start manufacturing collectibles, that's when you don't have value. That's why, like Drew said, these shits will decline in value because it was literally just printed to be valuable. And that's not how it works. It's got to be an organically scarce item to be coveted by a collector.
Right.
Yeah, it's like one of those interesting things. I'm not the biggest fan of Naomi, but the value on that is likely to hold because I think that's the introductory, issue from Brian Michael Bendis and Wonder Comics. And it's only like 13,000 print run. That's really, really low for the first appearance of a major character that's obviously in Justice League now, and they're looking to put that character in television.
You know what's funny about that, Wes? That used to matter, but it's almost like, how the hell is Amazing Spider-Man 300 and New Mutants 98 worth so much money now when it used to be like, oh, there's hundreds of thousands of those. It can't be worth
1 million copies.
Right, but it almost
Guys
feels
like Doc.
no. That one, those ones actually make sense because they're characters that the entire planet cares about.
Right, that's
true. Not 20,000 nerds.
Supply and demand. You're right. It's more of a cult. It's not as a niche of a following. It's more by the masses.
Yeah, like I mean, some variant with 500 covers with some character nobody gives a shit about by an artist nobody outside of comics has ever heard of.
Right.
Nobody's gonna that's not gonna move the needle at all. But Venom's first appearance, Wolverine's first appearance, Deadpool's first appearance, the entire there's 7 billion people that know who those characters are. So even if you got 500,000 copies of them available out there, 500,000 divided by 7 billion is still it's much more rare than 500 for 50,000 nerds.
Right.
We do have a super chat from Callum Lyle. Thank you so much for supporting the channel all the way from Australia. Off topic, I already know they'll market MCU Kamala Khan. I'm the first this and that, and I'm a girl. Take that one gender, white men. What do you think about that, Carrick? It feels like they keep doing the first, same thing over and over. It's the first female superhero. We've already had this, but they do it time and time again.
And that's the problem. They're just using the sexuality, the gender of the character to promote. I want to know about the story. What are they up against? Who's the villain? What is at stake? Instead, they're like, guess who's the first gay character? Look, we've made Superman bisexual. It's like, I don't care. What's his story?
Right. Is he just going to go around being that? Like, what is he doing? You know what's funny about this too is not to get too much into politics, and I'm not going to get into it, but they do that in politics now too. I'm like, they think they're comic books. It's the first this, the first that. Like, are you going to be a good senator or not? Like, why do I care if you're the first whatever? You know what I'm saying? They
do it with movies too. Look at Shang-Chi. They kept going on about look, first Asian lead in a movie, and I'm like,
right. I'm like, I saw Enter the Dragon 1 million times as a kid. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Bruce Lee is gonna come out of his grave and punch you in the dick.
Yeah, like they say, Black Panther is the first superhero movie, starting a black character. It's like, Where's Blade? Where's Spawn? These things have already happened. Stop ignoring history.
And they're planting the flag in the first thing, but it's like it's not even the first. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah. And even if you want to go further back, I mean, look, there's a lot of like the 70s blaxploitation movies that they were like basically straight up superhero movies that you can absolutely say, and those predate Blade and Spawn by 25 years.
I would say even Blank Man with Damon Wayans. There's a good one. Right there.
Yeah, I forgot about Blank Man. That's a good one.
I was a huge fan of Wayne's Family, yo.
Yeah.
And over in Asia, they do superhero movies all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
In the
Japan.
Philippines, they have their own version of Superman, Wonder Woman, and all those characters. So
That's fine.
absolutely, that's a very good point, Cal Blyle. Oh, so as a collector, what I'm hearing from some people, I don't know if you're seeing this yourself, Drew, is that a lot of comic fans are starting to just put their or their money into other collectibles, whether it be back issues, but also, you know, like statues and stuff like that. Is that what you guys are saying? I see you got some good statues behind you.
Yeah, I've got a few behind me, but yeah, it's difficult.
You got a banger with that XM Ghost Rider too, man.
Oh, that Ghost Rider. Yeah, we did a video of putting that together. That was not easy putting that thing together.
Yeah.
We got an awesome Superman one right over here.
When your
when we
statues
moved,
are like Legos.
yeah, just we have literally a $3,000 statue Superman right over here across from me. But you said it's trying to make these comics. The difficult part is making them exclusive, making them rare, making them special. That is the difficult part. And in doing so, for us specifically as a store, we have to make an awesome, badass cover. And sometimes we'll knock it out of the park. A lot of times we won't. It's just that's the difficult part. And just it's hit or miss. We try to keep people from going to statues, but we do know there is a statue market where we may or may not be getting into that soon. But yeah, it's not easy being a retailer and trying to make things exclusive for that people will buy, that people will want to buy.
I think with the statue thing, to make your own, nobody wants them cheap little $50 statues. Like, it's cool for beginners, but we want, you know what we want. We want the stuff that's behind you and behind me, the quarter scale premium stuff, expensive. And there's a market for that, man. There's a lot of us that strictly collect that. And I think to be successful in that zone, you got to go big, you know?
Yes, you do. And we're working with Jamie Tyndall right now. Jamie Tyndall just launched a White Widow. I think it's White Widow.
I saw that just now.
Yes. Yeah, that sold like gangbusters, and we're gonna be getting into some of that with some of our characters from Merc Magazine in the future. Cool. Hope no one heard that.
We've got Kenneth Dowling with the super chat. Hello, guys. How's everyone doing? Great Saturday morning. Shout out to MInt Collectibles. I've seen his channel. Great bottles. Well, thank you very much. We're glad to have him on here. You know, Jim,
I like how you read with the exclamation marks too.
That's what I'm trying to do. You know, it's interesting. It feels like you're a collector that wants to have his hands on things, right?
Yeah.
You want to be able to put it on your display and say, hey, when you come to my house, I'm making a statement that I have this badass, Thor, statue on here. I've got this entire omnibus collection of my favorite character and whatnot. Obviously, NFTs appear to be a big part of the collectible market in the future. Is that something that you're eyeballing or you're reading up on, or is that something you can get into? Because I can't get into. I understand what it is, but I can't find a value for me.
You peg me already. Like, yeah, I'm a hands-on type of dude. Like, I want to own cool shit and look at it and touch it. I don't want to look at my phone. I look at my phone enough, So I kind of get it, but I kind of don't, because I'm like, anybody can just create an NFT out of nowhere. Why is that valuable? Why would that appreciate in value when someone can just make another one? I understand that these comic publishers are selling like comic book covers, but what's to stop them from doing the all gold cover NFT and the all silver one? It's never ending. And again, you don't display it. I don't really get it. I
think they have like a hologram base thing where you can put your NFT in there and it could kind of show what it is.
But I mean, seriously, how much are you paying for a hologram base just to show off the thing you already spent absurd amounts of money?
It is a minted cryptocurrency, so there is inherent value because it has been minted.
See, I get that part, but I also don't get it, because like, why is there even a demand for your NFT? I'll just go buy. There's a billion, trillion, unlimited amount of them that can be created. Maybe not the same exact one, but why would yours ever go up in value?
You can actually say this is the only one in the world.
Maybe if you have a badass, I don't know.
You can do that with sketches. You can do that with original artwork. But still, I don't. Yeah, I'm with Jim. I still Sean and I don't get it. We think it's just a fluke. It's just this is gonna pass here. In a bit.
I get it in theory, but I don't get it like in practicality. I guess.
Now, like for original art, I have. There's nothing there, honestly. I mean, you buy original art so you can hang it up on your wall. Are you gonna just keep buying fucking TVs? To play it on, like so that it's you just got a bunch of TVs hanging on your wall.
Doc, are you saying you don't get original art too?
No, I love original art because I have a bunch of original art, but buying original art as an NFT, you know, the only way to display, I buy original art so I can hang it on my wall and display it and look at it.
Yeah,
some people buy original art so they can put it, you know, in behind a lock and key, and it's like
gold. Here's the thing with original art too, which I get it more than NFTs, but to me, it's like the same kind of thing. Like there are a million pages that you could go out there and buy. Now you can't buy Amazing Spider-Man 300's cover. There's only one of them. So I kind of get that, but it's also to me, like, I don't want to say it's hard to authenticate, but it's like, it's just a paper with ink on it. Like, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of like CGC graded keys. Okay, this is authenticated by a third party. We know it's real. With the original art, it's kind of like, yeah, that looks like the real one.
Yeah, I mean,
it has to be like a moment that really resonates with you, right?
Well, yeah.
Panel,
it has like for that, it's like specific covers. Like I got the cover for Wildcats Nemesis #5. I'm a big fan of Talent Caldwell's art. I love that series. And I really, really liked that cover. It was at the right price. We worked on a deal and I bought the cover from that. I also own a couple other pages in there. Like I have one of the pages where they had actually changed the story. So there's an A version and a B version of that page. And you have to combine them together to get the actual printed page. The actual printed page does not exist because it was photoshopped together from two different, because they changed the story. They took a character out.
It's got some background to it.
Yeah. So I have the page with the character that wasn't printed. And like it's only partially inked. The rest of it's all pencil. And the thing is, with like original art, you can, I mean, unless somebody's an amazing forger, you can authenticate it. I mean, it's not difficult at all, really. You could literally, all you got to do is hold it in your hand. You can see, is it actually pencil?
The funny thing about original art to me is that I'm a collector and I buy expensive things, right? But for that price, I'd rather just have a $10 poster, man. Like I'm good on the $10,000 page.
Well, there's a seller on eBay right now. His name's like Grant's Comics, I think is his name. He sells copies of the original artwork, and they come to you framed, like $50 for a page cover, original. And it's like that's awesome.
I'm a customer for that. I'm a customer all day for that.
Yeah.
And guess what? If someone walks in, you just tell them it's the real one.
We got a couple of super chats we'll get to. We've got Infamy or Death from, I believe, Dublin. I definitely know he's in Ireland. He's a big fan of the Comics Elite exclusive covers.
He's a fan of all of us.
Berserk. What's that?
I said Infamy or Death's a big fan of all of us. I always tell him, like, I see you commenting on all of our videos, and even people that aren't here today. Like, he's a big supporter of what we all do.
Absolutely. He's a great dude, loves comic books. And he says, Jim got me into Berserk, something I'm eternally grateful for. Haha. The manga is insane. The Prime 1 Studio statues are amazing. I just ordered 2.
Yeah, Berserk is one of those things. I was never a manga guy. I never really got it. And it was the correlation between Berserk and Final Fantasy and like the Akuma like kind of inspiration from Nosferatu Zod. And I picked it up, and it's just one of those things where it's like, I love this so much. And then it scratched the itch with the statues are amazing. And then they have the hardcover books, which I'm a big fan of. So it was just like the perfect storm for Berserk for me.
Carrie, you going to be covering Berserk on your channel?
Yeah, I have it coming in the mail. I'm doing the hardcovers.
Nice.
I'm jealous you're reading
volume.
it. I'm jealous you're going to be able to read it for the first time.
I know.
I've got
Demon
wait. Slayer and My Hero Academia going right now. Yeah, I almost got the big first volume, but I should probably just do it. We got Cal Lyle. Does it worry you that people are ignoring history, not just comic, but actual real history? What do you think,
It
Gary?
wor-
Does that bother
okay.
you?
Of course it does. It's kind of like they discredit everybody who came before and try to take credit for what they already did. Like we were just talking about earlier, like, oh, first
Like
Asian
history starts
superstar.
the day that I'm aware of something
Yeah.
or might be a problem. That's when history started. What were you going to
So,
say,
yeah.
Jim? I'm sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's cool. It's just like in general with what's going on in the world today, people not realizing the history that came before and all these
Right.
things that you think are going to be so great have been done before in other places and have failed horribly. And it's like people research only the sides that they want to see make their point and not like the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a scary thing, man.
And also trying to like keep people from looking at it, like taking statues
Oh,
of it
yeah,
and
it's the
everything.
censorship.
That's the
of history.
craziest thing. The censorship altogether is mind blowing, and mostly coming from a group I thought that would have been against that. Like growing up, that group would have been like, "Screw government, man, no censorship." And now they're like,
Pro.
that's
Censor me, daddy.
Okay, that's one of the reasons that you should be investing in the physical copies of these things, because eventually these versions are never going to be available, and there might actually be people that try to buy it back from you just so they can destroy it. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not the first time that people have bought back history to destroy it. I mean sometimes it's been on a small scale, like whenever there was an issue. They've done recalled comics before where the companies ask you to recall it so they can destroy those copies and reissue it, like the Wolverine 131 where it had a slur in it.
Yep.
Because it was a misprint. Like, it was, I don't know if it was a typo or the letterer screwed something up. Whatever. But you end up with a misprint, and they recalled the comic. Same with like Elektra #2. She was nude in it, and they recalled that. Now, if they actually make it out there, they actually end up with some value.
Yeah.
But there's been times where people have tried to recollect existing physical media, and we see them doing stealth edits on shit like stuff on Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, the edits of old movies. They just change they take out full scenes. They have new dialogue.
I just saw a comparison on that recently and how Disney's been doing it the whole time they've been around, though. So at least they're consistent with that. But yeah, they'll change some things up and edit out their movies.
We've also got Cal Miles says Griffith did nothing wrong. There you go.
Oh,
we
got
got
the Berserk thing.
Says, am I the only one who thinks Doc sounds exactly like Kevin in The Office? I hadn't heard it before. Now that you mention it, you are 100% correct, sir.
And I think that's why I love his voice so much, man.
I love
I never watched The Office, so.
Oh my god, great show.
Oh, absolutely, that was a great one. We got a lot of great people. We got Jasper played 9, Ryan Wilson, Tevye Smoka. We got Stan Hooper. Who else we got in here? We got Dion. We got a nice lively bunch.
Shout out to Jasper. He's a big supporter too, man.
Absolutely, he's an active person as far as the YouTubes and on the social medias.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about the current comic market? What is a good investment? Where should you be looking if you're somebody, if you want to give out a little? Obviously, it's not professional advice, just a little personal advice, Jim. Where should people be putting their eye?
I'm the worst investor. I'm a good money maker, but I'm not a good investor. First of all, I do a show with Comic Tom. You guys probably heard of him, right? So if I would have bought the key issues that we were talking about when I first started recording with him like a year and a half ago, I'd be over $100,000. But I'm just not good at that. Buy it now and hold later. But I'll tell you right now, X-Men 1's got room to grow. Hulk 181 is always going up. Giant Size X-Men still has room to grow. Just because the trends that we've seen in the past, these books are going to heat up until we finally get trailers and actually get those movies to come out. I think there's a small amount of risk. If Marvel screws up the X-Men, that's going to be a problem. First of all, that's going to be a problem for the hobby as a whole, because that's all we really have to kind of keep this superhero thing going, in my opinion, is X-Men and Fantastic Four. The MCU has gone over 10 years strong. They've milked the hell out of the Avengers. It's pretty much done. If they mess up Fantastic Four or X-Men, we have big problems for the superhero movie genre, which is the biggest influence in the comic book market as far as key issues. Now, if they do it right, then those X books have room to grow until those movies come out. I think those are good long-term buys. It seems to me like any blue chip Marvel key, any Iron Man, first Thor, all those books are safe bets, unless you have a big economy crash, which I know some people think may happen. So yeah.
As far as new comics, should people be looking at the store variants, which are obviously very limited in print runs, as far as the covers that you're getting, the ratio variants?
Well, here's the other thing.
Or is it they should be looking to the past?
What I want to say is I think everybody should collect whatever they want to collect or whatever they like to collect. I'm all for that. And with NFTs and with original art, I would never bash somebody for collecting it. Some people ask me, why do you want a bunch of freaking statues that you just look at and they don't do anything? So I get it. And whatever you collect, I get it. Some might be for me and some might not be for me. I think there is potential to strike gold. If you have something like a Something's Killing the Children 1 that you happen to have a very low ratio variant, that's going to be the most valuable version of that book that's out there. But for every Something is Killing the Children, there's Bitch Planet, or there's whatever kind of indie series that never went anywhere that probably had 1 out of 100 ratios. So I think,
and that had all the hype behind it.
It had a lot of hype. I thought it was going to be great. I read it and I was like, what is this? I can't even understand what I'm reading here. But Something's Killing the Children, Berserker, right? So books like that have a lot of potential. And I think what I like about Drew and Comics Elite is that they read the shit like me. Like, I read Berserker and I'm like, this is fucking good. Sorry, I don't know if you curse or not. I read Something's Killing the Children. It's awesome, right? Nice House on the Lake. Even though it's a DC book, it feels like an Image book to me. I don't know. So if you read, and if you could get an early read and then attack the shops for that big ratio, I think that's the smartest way to do it.
If you get an idea if it's good. We got Lade Kramer here. Hey, reminder for Doc, we only have 7 months away from our favorite event, returning Hellfire Gala 2, Unremarkable Boraloo. What we all locked in for.
I loved Planet Size X-Men 1. I'm sorry. I know everybody hates Hellfire Gala. I didn't hate it, but again, like I say on my channel, I didn't read every tie-in. I read a couple of tie-ins for whatever series I didn't drop from Reign of X, and I like Planet Size X-Men. Hey, we got someone backstage too, it looks like.
Fatal J's here.
Sorry.
Man.
The Fatal.
If it wasn't for me, you would be backstage for this whole show, not knowing.
Bro,
I forgot I was waiting on it.
Jim, man, I just want to say this, bro. You looking good. You like you lost a little pounds. You looking good,
Bro,
man.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down 40 pounds, man. I was like,
nice.
We're getting old, man. My blood pressure was high. I'm like, I got to, screw it. I got to buckle down. So I'm into it now. And I'm very obsessive. So now I'm into it like crazy.
I was able to lose 40 pounds when I was 25. I don't think I can do it now that I'm in my 40s.
You need to teach me because who lost 100?
I did.
Who just said? Oh,
yo,
man.
Congrats, Drew.
Yeah.
Yo,
Wow.
I'm 37, Wes. Our bodies are meant to go, man. I think you can still do it, brother.
Bro,
Calorie deficit and weight training. That's it.
I just worked out last night. Told myself not gonna eat nothing after the workout.
Yeah.
I ate 2 big McDonald burgers, Big
No,
Macs,
no good.
and
2
washed
Big
it
Macs?
down and washed it down with
Diet
soda
Coke.
and
Diet Coke?
fries.
Oh wow.
And then I curled myself into a little ball and cried myself to sleep because I defeated the workout. What was the point in the workout?
Well, better that you worked out though. You probably would have normally ate that and not worked out. So at least you got some workout in.
You put it in the bank and you took your deposit out. There you go. Next time, leave it.
Yeah.
We do have a very large super chat that I need to get to. Thank you very much, Ken Dowling. $50 is very generous. Thank you so much. On minority superheroes, I agree. Before Black Panther, there was Blade and others. It's when you get into specifics that it gets interesting. Black Panther had larger, predominantly black cast as opposed to those other films. That's how it's marketed. Absolutely. For a movie that was like keyed in as being a large push for diversity, Black Panther has one of the least diverse casts of all the MCU movies. Predominantly black.
Jim, are you familiar with Pablo Escobar?
Of course.
Meet Kenneth Darling. You're gonna see this. You're gonna see this all day. You're gonna see this all day.
When you're dropping 50s,
not that often, but it's certainly appreciated.
Yeah, as far as that, I mean, I wouldn't even really realize that unless somebody pointed out to me. Like, I'm just here for a good flick, you know what I'm saying, or a good comic book, and like to find out that the head of photography was this or that, like I don't know or care. Like, good job.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit. but not, and they should be. It should be whoever's the best. Whoever's the best for the job. I don't give a shit what you are, you know. So,
well, it'd be weird if you had if you were making a Black Panther movie set in Wakanda, and you didn't have a predominantly black cast.
That would be kind of weird. That would be a little bit like, all right, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's like when you make a Thor movie, and next thing you know, all the Asgardians are like different races other than just like Norse guys.
They do that now.
I know.
I was about to
It was
say.
strange.
The new Marvel
It
movie
makes
got a
sense.
whole bunch of different races of people on
Yeah,
there.
I was like, why is Idris Elba? What's his name? I was like, this doesn't make any sense. But this is one of those weird things.
The Celestial, what was it? I can never remember his name. The red one, the main one, R. Smith or something. No, what's his name? No one remembers it. But he was just like, we're gonna put every different kind of Eternal. I don't want to spoil Eternals if you guys haven't seen it, but
No, because don't nobody.
I
I
fell
see it on the
asleep.
panel.
My
That's why
brother
they
watching
quiet.
it.
You fell asleep during Eternals?
Yes, hour and a half in, I fell asleep. Yeah.
dang, an hour and a
Wow,
half.
you
Oh, I
made
mean, you made it
a lot
pretty
of
far.
You only
I
had an hour to
like-
go.
Arishem. Arishem was like just making every mixture that he could possibly come up with. I like the Eternals though, but I like Spider-Man 3. I like things for what they are. I don't know. I love the celestial storytelling there, but I
Don't
get why
feel
people
bad,
didn't
bro.
like it.
You're the first person I've met that
feel
likes
bad.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3 might
I'm
be
the
one of
only
my
man on
favorite
earth who like
superhero
Elektra.
movies. Elektra,
Bro,
I did not like that one.
That movie was
I thought-
spectacular, man.
I thought that was the worst casting, one of the worst castings in superhero movies. Jennifer
They did a
Garner
better
as
job in
Elektra.
the Netflix universe.
Yes.
No,
Y'all need to
you're
watch it
tripping.
again,
The
That was
Netflix Elektra was dope, man. She was scary.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why I said
Yeah.
they did a better job. She was great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But she was perfect. We got a Doc question here from Cal Mile. Who's the character Echo, Doc? Oh wait, Gok is God. Is he signed out? Maybe he has. That's Maya. I can't remember her last name, but she's a Native American character.
Mhm.
She's also deaf, and she can mimic other people's powers.
I read that
It's-
Phoenix Echo one shot, and I was like, who the hell is this, man?
Wasn't she adopted by Kingpin?
Yes. Then she found out he actually murdered her father, and that's why
Yes.
she had to go back to the res and all that good stuff. Very interesting stuff in the Daredevil universe back in the day. So that's who that character is. I do not recommend reading Phoenix Song Echo. I thought that was terrible.
No, it was whack. It was whack. Yeah.
Lade Graver, thanks to Bruce Wade from Earth Money, aka Kenneth. Well, absolutely. We definitely appreciate all the support here on the channel. And definitely thank you, Lade Graver, for supporting the channel. We also got Kenneth Dalley. To quote Will Smith, the only color Hollywood cares about is green.
I'm with
That's
that.
what it
Me
should
too. That's
Mhm.
that's how I am.
If it doesn't make money, it don't make sense, Fatal J.
But that's so
That's
crazy
true.
because
That's
that
true.
doesn't ring true necessarily in
Right.
the comic book industry or to a further extent the movie industry, right? It's kind of like, let's put making money first because that's when you get the best product, right? When they want to make the most money.
It's like
Well,
taking all the
that's the
characters
thing.
nobody liked.
The
And
the
putting
thing
them in
I'm
movies.
seeing, Jeb, is you have these big studios acquiring Disney got Lucasfilm, Disney went out there and got Marvel, whatever. They get these products and they think what makes them cool is the look and the aesthetic. So sure, the sequel trilogy in Star Wars looks like a Star Wars movie. It sounds like a Star Wars movie, but they don't know what the things that made it popular to begin with, and that stuff is all removed out of it. That's what I'm seeing in a lot of these big franchises that they're trying to revitalize nowadays.
When you start making it around, like it's centered around a committee making a movie, then you
Yeah.
got a problem. You're trying to appease several different people as opposed to one person with one vision
Right.
for a film.
Yeah,
Let
can
me
you
tell y'all
imagine how
something,
bad
that
The
Last
Notebook
Jedi-
would have been if they tried to make it accessible to men. They just went out and made the best, romantic movie, The Notebook, and dudes end up liking it because it was good.
That
Except
Last
Fatal
Jedi
J.
was trash. It was trash. Last
I didn't see
Jedi,
it.
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh.
Jim Mint, don't tell me you like Last Jedi, bro. Don't tell me.
No, I was never really a Star Wars guy to begin with, and when I
okay,
watch
gotcha,
it, it's
gotcha.
you know what it is. What I don't like with those type of movies, where I'm like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. Oh, okay, you tried to do that. Oh, this is what you're going for. Like, I hate it when you can spot you're supposed to fall and be immersed in the movie and the story. But when they make those types of movies, you see how it was made, and that's kind of like a play when you see the strings. Like, oh, you just killed all the
and they try to
me.
make it like the world we in now, which is whack.
Right, and that's what and comics do the same thing. That's
Yeah.
why I don't like Tom Taylor's Superman, Son of Kal-El. I'm like, is this the same guy who did DC's, who's doing Dark Ages, who did Injustice? It doesn't even feel like the same writer.
Dark Knights of Steel. Yes.
Yeah, like what the hell happened? Like, did you give this to your like little sister and like had her write it, or little brother or whoever, and just said that it was you? Because it doesn't even feel like the same person.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Fatal J, but when I was watching The Last Jedi, I was actually pretty excited going in. I got my wife, got my little kid. We packed up, went 4.5 hours away, booked a hotel room just so we could see this damn movie. We get in there as soon as Finn, who I was like, man, this is cool. You know, he got butterflied in the back. He almost got split in half. What's he going to do in the next movie? And he pops out and he's got all these stupid tubes out, and they're like, oh, he's a comedy character now. That's when I started cursing in the theater in front of my 2-year-old. My wife's like, we're going to walk outside. Like, wow,
they did Finn dirty in that trilogy, man.
He had the most potential.
Yeah.
I should have known something was up when Luke took the lightsaber and threw it over his shoulder.
Right.
I should have known
that's
it.
the part that like pissed us off.
The Finn origin was dope, man, as the stormtrooper, right?
Heck
and like
yeah.
the clone thing. I was like, yo, this is a whole different side. Like, we kind of had a glimpse of this. What was it, an Attack of the Clones or something? But this was like, yo, this dude is like not with it. He's having reservations about being a stormtrooper and went rogue. That's cool, man. But
And they made Finn like when the first trailer, they made it like Finn was going to be the main character.
But I think
Remember
he was
that?
supposed to. I think the main thing about this trilogy was all the different cooks in the kitchen and changing the direction of it. Like, it was supposed to be, it was clear as day, and then they just kind of sidelined them for the
They
rest
were
of
both
it.
going to have
Right.
Jedi like Force powers.
Yeah.
I mean,
That would have been dope.
At the end of Force Awakens, he stands up to Kyle. What's his name? And
Kylo.
then the next movie,
Kyle-
next movie,
Never mind.
boy.
I was gonna
Rayner.
make it- No, I was going to make a different joke about standing up to
Kylo.
somebody.
We do
I
have
hate
a
that character.
super chat from the Doc, who was apparently away shoving Jordan White into the rocket into the sun.
That's how you know. That's how you know he knows that Wes only reads the super chats. It's like, he could have said that in the
He
private
put
or
this into
anything.
the private chat. I'll see
Yeah.
it eventually. Although I didn't
You
really
did,
see Fatal J was back there.
Yeah.
I saw it was red. And I'm like, we're all here talking. I wasn't even paying attention. But I don't know. Is there anything else to say about
Everybody know you don't care about me, man. Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Everybody know you don't care.
I
You don't care
had
about
Chuck
me,
Dixon
man.
on the channel, and
Yeah,
you were the
sometimes
first
we-
person I invited on to talk with him.
I was your second pick, sir.
What are you talking about? You don't know that.
We had somebody else on the show too. That was the second pick too, but I'm not gonna talk
Yes,
about that.
Josh
first.
was supposed to be on the show today. He is sick and couldn't make it, so I started reaching out to people, and you're the one that replied. So I do appreciate
Mr.
that. But on Chuck Dixon,
Mr. Jim
I
Man-
messaged you on like Monday.
Mr. Jim
always
Man, I
say-
just want to tell you this. I'm always sitting on the bench. He always has his star players, his starting five. And when one of the starting five can't make it or break an ankle or something like that, that's when you call Phil J to come
So
in.
he got you as
Thanks.
the second string. Second string is getting called in.
Second strings.
No, I
Like
brought
you
him
said.
in for Chuck Dixon.
Wes, I still love you, man. I understand. I just ride the bench on your team. I understand, man.
My goodness, I use you. You're like a sharpshooter. I bring you in strategic situations.
Specialist. Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, you're not a starting 5-year specialist off the bench. That's the way it is. We got Callum Lyle. I had this image of Ryan Johnson peeing all over the lore and Kathleen Kennedy giggling, saying, hate all men. Not probably that far off. What
Ryan
happened to that one?
Johnson, I call him Rowan Johnson. You
Absolutely.
single-handedly ruined Star Wars for the next few decades.
I thought you said Ron Johnson, then I was going to be like, that sounds like a porn guy.
Ron Johnson.
Like
We
a
got common
70s
sense here.
porn star.
He agrees Finn should have been the main protagonist. He was the only original character that had growth and any substance until he and Phasma were sidelined.
Yeah, it's almost like
Another
they try to be like, let's go with the nostalgia thing, right? Let's make it all Skywalker and let's make it all the Emperor Palpatine and just do what we already did, but a little
Poorly.
bit different.
Yeah, very poorly.
But it was so stupid how they set it up because what was the first one? Force Awakens. That was nothing but
Yeah.
A New Hope.
Right.
Last
Same
Jedi.
damn movie, yo.
Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. The third
Yeah.
one was super horrible. Rise of
Yeah.
Skywalker, they tried to make it like Last Jedi when he fight the Emperor at the
Yeah,
end.
the only problem is they decided to replace Ewoks with flying fucking horses.
You're right. Why was horses in space? I never did get that one. You got speeders and all that type of stuff. You got horses?
I'll take
tactical.
Ewoks again over that.
I would.
Man, I was so mad in the Last Jedi. I watched that entire movie and it's terrible. And you get to the end and Finn's like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna save you all," and he's gonna kill himself. You know, he's gonna die, saving everybody. And the actual hair on the back of my neck actually stood up. I was like, I can't believe they were able to get an emotional response after this terrible movie. And then she just wrecks into him and sexually assaults him on the battlefield.
Wes, you not lying. I was getting ready to cry.
I was
tearing
there.
up.
I was emotional.
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
okay, go out like this, take a risk. This was gonna be the greatest scene in the entire movie. Kill Finn off. And she wrecked into him. Now that wreck alone would have killed Finn.
Absolutely
And
would've
her.
murdered
Why are we talking about this fucking terrible movie?
it came up, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. We got Jim Mint breaking up all these bad movies and we want to talk about it.
Let's get it back on topic. We got Kenneth Dowling. Wes, you always present a high quality podcast. Well, thank you very much, sir. But last week with Chuck Dixon was outstanding. Maybe the best episode in the history of your channel so far.
Whoa.
That's pretty high praise. I've had like 1,200 episodes.
There you go.
So that's pretty good. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Really appreciate the support. Do we have anything else to say about the Gimmick comic book marketing and whether people should be jumping in there? I say if you're going to do this stuff and it's risky, make sure you're flipping it on eBay and do not be left holding the end effects out of the
because a lot of this stuff is short-term money. You want to get this now and flip it fast. You really
know when to hold and know when to fold, man.
Yeah, you don't want to be the guy with the Superman Son of Kal-El #5 comic 5 years from now when everyone's like, oh, that was important, but I don't want
Yeah, that I mean, you can either hit it now, you get left holding the bag, or you hold on to it for 25 years until some really terrible nostalgia kicks in. Like, hey, you remember that really fucking awful period of DC where they tried to replace Superman with his gay son? And
I'll tell you right now, like something happening to a character doesn't historically hold a lot of value later on. Maybe Spider-Man, right? But like, it's got to be a first appearance of a noteworthy character. It has to be something that they can make other properties and media out of, right? So like, first appearance of a character, but not like if there's something that happens to the character, that's typically not going to be a long-term investment.
No.
Like a lot of these Batman characters Tynan came up with, a lot of these aren't going to be good long-term investment characters. Like whether it's the Gardener, maybe Punchline, but Miracle Molly, I just don't see a lot of these holding value that he's created.
The problem with Punchline is just like it's a knockoff Harley. That's the thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
That's why I say the Underbroker has the most potential for long-term use because it would serve something unique within Gotham that hasn't been seen before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember who that is.
he's like runs the Continental, but within Gotham, where he's like he works within the city, but he's also like this masked guy that provides all the villains in the city with like logistical support.
Yeah.
I mean,
coat,
look,
like a fur coat or something.
All of those characters are derivative. They're like the GI Bob. The kind that you find in like the dollar store knockoff bins. That's all they are. But for whatever reason, they are the GoBots to existing Transformers characters in Batman books.
It's
And
the Care Bear cousins.
They also all have job titles as names. Like Azrael or Ghostmaker, it's just Azrael.
And Moon Knight.
Yeah. It's
And
Azrael and Moon Knight. Punchline is just knockoff Harley.
I don't know about Ghostmaker either. And then I kept getting confused with Peacekeeper and Ghostmaker. I was calling them Ghostkeeper and Peacemaker.
Peacemaker is a big deal right now.
Is Keeper? Is that going to be a big
Ghostmaker.
character? I don't. Whatever. Yeah. I don't really think so. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a unique new character. And then also, I mean, Drew might know this. The Vengeance character, did she first appear in this Joker series, or was
Yes.
was she established before?
First appeared in the Joker series, and
But-
I don't think she's going to last either.
Essentially,
Because you have a
female
real
version of
Bane that's
Bane.
waiting
Yeah.
to return.
Yeah.
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 We've also
I like
got
I like the character, but it's just a female version of Bane.
You know what they all remind me of in the 90s whenever they decided to redo all Spider-Man's villains
Mhm.
with different people, like the girl Doc Ock and all that other stuff. That's
Right.
it's exactly what Tinian did with Batman.
Well,
Clown
we're going to
Hunter
get
was
to
the
that.
other
We're
one.
going to get to a more in-depth Batman discussion. We do have Callum Lyle. I think also that purple-haired Karen is Kathleen Kennedy. I don't remember the name of the character. It's
Oh.
Admiral something. Is it
Admiral
Holdo?
Holdo.
Photo.
From Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Wow,
That was a terrible character.
Absolutely. We've got Exploding Pretty. What is the price guide abbreviation for first appearance of being gay? I don't know.
It's FABG.
Yeah, there you go. Look out for that one. As far as the price guides go, I think we talked about the gimmick marketing stuff. Let's get it. Doc wanted to talk some more about Star Wars, so let's do it. We got Star Wars returning,
Oh fuck!
at least in some form, to Dark Horse Comics. If you are not a Star Wars comic book fan, go back and read some of those omnibuses at Dark Horse, whether it be the Rogue Squadron. You can get into the Knights of the Old Republic, the different eras. Really loved Heir to the Empire. You got some really cool, the Thrawn trilogy that Mike Barron did. I'm excited for Star Wars to return to Dark Horse. Unfortunately, Drew, it's only the all ages comics and some graphic novels, and it sounds like we're doing more High Republic. Why?
Bingo. This is the case where you read the headline, you just read the headline, you're going to get ecstatic if you're a longtime reader. But then you get into the details, you start actually reading the article, you find out, oh, it's mostly centered around the High Republic and the non-binary rock pilot that they got. And it's like, I couldn't care less at this point. It's like, you had me and then you lost me. Congrats.
Wait, and rocks had genders?
Yes, apparently
begin
there's a
with?
non-binary rock pilot. Yeah.
How did rocks have genders?
I want to know
That's
how
the
the Rock
Star Wars
pilot-
writer's room.
Is it like the stalactites really like fucking the stalagmites, or
You don't
that's
question
as
it, Doc.
far as I go?
Yeah, tights into mites. That's how it works. Tights into mites. Yeah. Can't do
I
tights
don't know,
and
what
tights.
Fatal J, it looks like you're having a good bowl of cereal. Are you excited for Star Wars Return to Dark Horse?
Let me tell you something. When I experienced the High Republic, they had a slab of rock as
Yes.
a character.
Yes.
Yes,
We
we
were
were
talking about.
talking
I'm just
about
talking about-
I'm gonna say that again, ladies and gentlemen. A
Non-binary.
slab of granite rock as a pilot in Star Wars. That's
That
where
is
we
it.
at with Star Wars now. That's where we at. That's where we at. So
I don't know. Have you been reading High Republic, Drew? I know you read all the comics.
I tried to, we say we read everything, but whenever a Star Wars comic comes out, I'm always like, "Here, Sean, you can read it. You're liking Star Wars. You can have this."
The bounty
because-
hunter stuff isn't bad, but all the other ones.
did you read the rock though? Did you
But-
read the rock character?
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible, and that's why I'm like, "Here, Sean, you'll like this. Here, you'll like it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
feel like Sean was only going to fall for that so many times.
yeah, I don't think so. He's still a sucker for the. Doesn't really usually matter what it is for Star Wars. He's still gonna love it, and I'm like, congrats, you're one of the few people who loves it.
We now need the Rock to play an actual rock. So that's how he's going to join the DC or the Disney. After he did that really bad jungle movie, now he needs to actually just play a rock.
Yeah. There you go.
I do want to say we are at 54 likes. If you are enjoying the channel, you want to support us, definitely give us a thumbs up. Let everyone know they're having a good conversation.
Let me
here.
tell you
Hopefully
something.
we'll be
If
over
you get it
100
to
soon.
200 likes, I'm singing the Golden Girls theme song for everybody.
Please
So
don't get
is-
the likes, guys.
We're not getting to 200.
So does the Star Wars rock thing call anybody a jabroni?
So I'm putting in the private chat a link to a Forbes article about The Rock. If you want to see it, they actually do interview about the.
Doc, I'm telling you,
Geo.
man, the High Republic is a joke after that, man. A rock that pilots a ship.
Dude,
Did
the
he,
High
But there's a
Republic
Wookiee
was
that's a Jedi, though, right?
he might be. I don't know. After I read that issue, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is it.
That was your jumping off point.
That was it, man. I hit my rock bottom, literally. My rock bottom. It was a joke, man.
But I do like how
That
they
was a
do
great
make it
pun,
clear he
man.
doesn't identify himself as the other metamorphic, magmatic, or a sedimentary rock. You know, he just So it's very important.
That's how it is.
Yes.
Who comes up with that shit? Is that Kevin Scott? He's the writer, right?
The writer of the article is David Bresson. I don't know, but
The only thing I stuck with was the Darth Vader books, which I thought were super solid until
Yes,
this
they
year.
are.
Kieran Gillen was
War-
great. Charles Soule was great. And then it went off though.
I still like the current run. I just don't like the War of the Bounty Hunters. It's being dragged the hell
Yes.
on.
32 issues.
terrible. It's terrible. And I keep telling Sean, like, I grew up. I mean, Jim, we're the same age. I grew up on Shadows of the Empire, Dash Rendar, the video games, the novels. Those were so badass. And
Yes,
then you
they
get
were.
this. This is weak sauce in comparison. It's terrible.
It is. I'm hoping that one day, just all the Star Wars stuff will go back to Dark Horse and we can get Star Wars comics.
It ain't gonna never happen. Disney
Nah.
trying to change the
Yeah.
EU. They trying to get away from.
right?
They trying to get away from that expanded universe and just
Well,
do their own thing.
Well, another thing is one thing I learned from reading this War of the Bounty Hunters is that they're trying to tie in the Solo movie. They're making the Solo movie canon.
Crimson Rain.
Yes.
The thing about Marvel though is that they're reprinting the Dark Horse material under their umbrella though, so it's like they're still recognizing that stuff. But yeah, Disney got too much money.
all
They're not giving that
legends.
up, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that stuff's all good. Kid Dowling, there are some current Darth Vader comics I hear are very, very good.
Right.
Jim Mint absolutely agrees with you.
Yeah.
What was it? When did I jump off of that one? Oh, when we saw Padme in the second issue. Obviously, I know there was.
But the flashback stuff. I liked it.
I like the flashback stuff too, even though it's not canon.
At that point, I was already pissed off because I saw Princess Leia get stuck in carbonite in the regular series, and I was really mad. I was like, "Really, carbonite again? I guess they're just freezing everybody." What?
I mean, it's a mythos of the universe. I don't know. I kind of get it.
That would have. I thought I did not like that idea. We got Cal Blyle. I'm not holding my breath for Dark Horse Star Wars because the story group behind High Republic are deeply insecure people. Justina Ireland denies history being one of them.
You're not lying, bro. They had a picture of their office. They
Yes.
literally have a big poster of a crossed out Luke Skywalker face. They got Luke Skywalker face and got his face crossed out.
There
How
were
can you
20
do
to 30 people in that room, 20 to 30 writers. And it's like, how can you get a good idea out of this? One concise idea out of 20 to 30 people.
Well, you know what I don't understand is like you guys love Star Wars, right? Luke Skywalker, the main character. So did you like it or not? Like, I don't understand like coming into something and changing everything about it. Like, what made you even like it then?
They like that it has cultural relevance so that they can then use it to graffiti all over. It'd be like these are people that would walk into the Louvre and draw on it with and draw on the Mona Lisa with Sharpie.
Right.
They're cultural vandals.
Well, that's a good term.
This is what I don't understand though. You crossed out Luke. Everybody knows if Star Wars is the Jackson 5, Luke Skywalker is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Come on, you can't disrespect Luke like that.
Hey,
Without
you know what?
Luke Skywalker,
Latoya
you don't have a
didn't get
paycheck,
enough,
right?
But the problem is they've decided that Latoya didn't get enough credit.
Yep, that's a good analogy, man. A very good one.
We do have a super sticker for BF. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We've got You Murdered That Guy from North of the Border. Move Fatal J off the bench. Dude's a star. He is the Willie Beeman.
Willie Beeman.
Okay, I'll take that. I'll take that.
I actually have a Willie Beeman jersey. I was wearing out to the Colts game a few weeks ago.
I didn't know there was so many Any Given Sunday fans on the panel. That's
I
amazing.
love Any Given Sunday. I just watched
I
it
thought I
a
was
week
doing
ago.
something obscure. I didn't expect everyone to be like,
Did you ever see the Jamie Foxx stand up on My Need Security where he talks about that movie?
No.
All right. First of all, one of the best stand-ups I've ever seen. I can't even say my thing now because nobody's gonna get it, but he does a great bit about him being on that set.
Oh, I gotta see this now.
Yeah, it's good,
I think I seen that. Didn't he say he got into a fight with somebody on there?
Well, he got to fight with LL, and then Al Pacino's bit went from his lip to my lip, and it was funny. You do what you're fucking told, and his spit went. All right, it was hilarious, man.
I saw it.
So Fatal J is the Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Yeah, Willie Beeman.
Yeah, we really don't need that song.
Caleb Lyle says, when after Star Wars Theory and when Dark Horse hears footsteps, here comes Kathleen Kennedy, here comes Kathleen Kennedy. They'll go like Patty Jenkins just did. That has been an issue with Star Wars, Fatal J, is they bring in all these talented people and then they all leave.
Really?
Yeah, didn't Patty
Solo.
Jenkins just get kicked off the project now?
We had Lord Miller leave. You had Colin Trevorrow leave. You have Patty Jenkins leave.
Exactly. Man, Colin Trevorrow followed me on Twitter. Man, look, Rise of Skywalker.
He doesn't have good taste.
Well, see, man. But look, let me tell you something. That dude was going to change the game with Rise of Skywalker. He was going to bring it back. Luke Skywalker was going to be the main character, even though he was dead, but he was going to fight Kylo Ren in the end, like literally grab a lightsaber with his hand. He was trying to make Luke that heroic character, not that broken down crap we seen in Last Jedi. And then they changed the story and he left.
Yeah,
So-
Robert Meyer Burnett, I think he read the script and it got pulled immediately, like the next day down. The script was awesome, and I was excited would have been excited for that movie, but never gonna see it.
John Favreau did him justice.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah,
He definitely
it's
did.
the
Hey,
Mandalorian.
John Favreau had grown men crying when Luke showed up. Man. You know?
Yeah,
John Favreau's got enough clout with what he did with Iron Man 2, and
yeah.
such a big figure that's he can do whatever he wants.
Favreau just make badass shit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Just do
Get
it.
it, Dowling. Since you guys mentioned it earlier, I literally just bought a volume collection of Black Panther by Reggie Hudlin. Really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, that's what Reggie Hudlin good with Black Panther.
It was solid. It wasn't great. Honestly, though, I don't think Black Panther's ever had a legitimately excellent, like, everybody needs to read it.
I was gonna say everyone's gonna say Christopher Priest.
Priest was still only. It was really good. It never hit that level of able to make that book sustainable long term. There's a reason why I don't think any Black Panther book has made it past about 40 issues.
And now they gave the new series to what's his name, John
Ridley.
Yeah,
he's gonna kill it.
Another-
He's gonna crush that book in a bad way. I'm trying to say bad,
Yeah.
but I'm making it sound like it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
he's gonna ruin that book.
He's another.
He's gonna
cultural
crush
vandal.
Black Panther.
No, he's terrible.
Hey,
writer.
fun fact, Reginald Hudlin is the director of the House Party movies.
Yeah.
We Kid and Play.
That's what's up.
A
Did
lot
he
of
do
people don't know.
Boomerang as well, or was he a producer on there?
I don't know. I thought Eddie Murphy.
I think he was.
directed it.
I think he was a producer on that.
Oh, he had something to do with that one. I remembered. I missed those Kid and Play movies.
Oh yeah.
Man, wish I could.
Early
hit that.
'90s. That was
Straight up.
before gangster rap took over. That was like when it was like the fun rap scene, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was more the hip hop scene before it
Right.
went full rap.
Yeah.
Kid Dowling remembers that Jamie Foxx special Jim meant. Great stand-up, hilarious skit, taking us back. Nice.
That whole stand-up is hilarious from front to this guy. He impersonates somebody, and you feel like you're looking at the person he's impersonating, like from Bill Clinton to Mike Tyson. It's crazy, man.
Dude, you know what? I swear to God, In Living Color has made more
Stars.
been referenced.
Yeah. Mhm.
Well, it made more stars than literally any show. It probably has generated more stars than even SNL did,
Yes, it did.
Hell yeah.
and it only
Ah,
had
man.
one cast.
Saturday Night Live's
It-
had like so much history. You got Adam Sandler.
It has,
Yeah.
it has,
Chris
but you're
Rock.
close.
You got
You're
Eddie
really
Murphy, Dan
Yeah,
Aykroyd.
yeah.
But no, hold up. But wait a minute. You can't give SNL credit for a lot of those. A lot of those people were already established that went on to SNL. But in Living
Yeah,
Color,
they-
this was the debut of Jim
I
Carrey.
got you.
and all these-
I see
but
what
it
Doc
was a
mean,
very
though.
small
J
period.
Lo
of
is a
time.
fly girl.
Yeah, but In Living Color only ever had one cast. They never reached
No, they
the
had the
point-
cast after the Wayans left. First
Oh
season.
yeah,
Cal-
where only I think only Keenan Ivory was left from and Kim I think were the only two family members that were still left.
Yeah, Jim
Yeah,
Carrey
but
was gone.
I
He
see
was
what
like the
that
biggest-
mean.
yeah.
I see what that mean. You got mega stars that come from a living color. You got Jamie Foxx, you got J-Lo, you got Jim Carrey. Those are mega top tier stars, right?
You got both Marlon and Damon, or
Yeah, the
and
Wayans
Damon
family.
Wayans.
The whole-
Yeah,
There's a bunch of them. Sean Marlon.
yeah. Hell,
yeah.
if you count Damon Wayans Jr.,
Yeah.
who's already built himself a very solid career, and I swear to God, it's just a clone of his dad. He looks
Basically,
exactly the same.
Yeah.
He looks like Skip and Tosh.
Why get quiet when you said that?
Get Dalek for this. This once I have to agree with Fatal. I agree.
This
with
is a
Fatal J.
great show. Everybody agreeing with me and being
On
nice.
College of Viral, I saw the original photos for his movie. Looked and say,
Those concept pictures made me want to cry. They were so dope.
yeah, you're probably right. I'll give Fatal J that one. It was definitely a better way to go than what we ended up getting. Cal Mile, if I had $1 million and asked all of you, including Star Wars Theory, Star Wars Girl, and Nerdotic, to redo Last Jedi in comic form,
Hold on.
what do you mean?
I'm trying to soak that
I
in.
feel
What
like
did he
there's
mean
more.
by that?
I mean, it would be better than the movie. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that
it'd
easily.
absolutely be better.
Star
One
Wars
day
Theory.
when I was in the military, we just decided to redo the prequel trilogy. And we were like, okay, what's all the stuff that was wrong with it? Okay, Anakin needed to be 16 in the first movie and not 5 years old. And we remapped the whole thing out. And I was like, yeah, this is a much better trilogy.
I like Phantom Menace, but yeah, I wish Anakin could have been a little bit older to speed up
He
the
needed to be
process.
older. He
Yeah,
didn't
and
need
the-
to luck
yeah.
box himself into the victory.
And then all the council meetings, they were so drawn out. There were so
The
many
political
boring
stuff.
chop
Yeah.
that. I like the meme of Natalie Portman where they're like, all right, Anakin, just make sure you don't fall in love with this character or whatever. And it's like it's showing her like laid out or whatever.
Yeah, and it's kind of creepy once you realize, she like met him when he was 5, and she's like
Yeah.
seducing when he's 18.
I mean, he grew up, man.
Hey, apparently, but she's already of age. It makes it
Hey,
weird.
it was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
You know what I always kind of thought, and again, I'm not like a real Star Wars guy, so people might hate this idea. I always felt like Star Wars took place in the past from Earth, right, and that they would eventually catch up to Earth somehow.
Like
But,
the Battlestar Galactica.
Some shit like that, because it's in a galaxy a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So eventually they would get to present time in Earth, and they would get Earth involved.
Jim Mint, now you actually own to something. It was actually a Marvel comic book. I want to say a Marvel Star Wars comic book where Han Solo went through like a portal or something. And the timeline that Han Solo is in, the timeline that Han Solo is in right now, he went through a portal and it was Cowboys and Indians time.
That's kind of cool.
So what they were trying to say was when Star Wars was going on with Luke Skywalker, Leia, all them, it was Cowboys and Indian time in our time.
Okay.
So I don't know if that comic book was canon or not. No,
Is that the same one where later on Indiana Jones found his body?
I don't know.
I
can't remember. But I
There
remember
was one where
reading that comic
Indiana
book.
Jones found the Han Solo's body in like the Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Skip and Tosh, I guess, speak of the devil, you say his name, he will show up. My home ec teacher crossed my name off the roll and put major paid. If I didn't answer to that name, she marked me absent. See, I'm not the only one that saw the resemblance.
I love how there's memes out there saying like kids today need to watch Major Pain. Like we need to bring that back.
Oh, this is so good.
It's on Netflix right now. I've watched it about 20 million times.
Absolutely. I watched that with my kid. He doesn't get the humor because he's only 6. He doesn't think it's funny where all the kids are being abused. Oh man. So let's get into our nerd debate for this week. We've got when did the DC Comics universe end? A lot of people in their head canon, they say, you know what? All this stuff that's going on in DC, it doesn't count anyway because the DC Comics universe already ended. Some people say it ended with Crisis on Infinite Earth. Some people will say that it ended on Flashpoint. Drew, as a comic book aficionado yourself, a man that has been reading the DC universe for a while, does the canon ever ended for you?
It ended for me November 2017 when Doomsday Clock was released. When I follow the trajectory DC has been on, when I find out like all the diverging paths, I'm like, when did this really hit the shitter. It was when Doomsday Clock was kicked off. That was when we really saw the division between Jeff Johns and Dan DiDio. When we saw splittering decisions of where the storylines should go, where characters should go. It was all, I trace it all back to Doomsday Clock because Rebirth was on a great trajectory at that point. And then as soon as Doomsday Clock came out, it just started sputtering out of control with different ideas of where things could go. So that's my opinion. November 2017. Doomsday Clock #1.
Now for me, I agree with Tevya in the chat. For me, it ended when New 52 started.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, New 52.
So for me, it ended when New 52 ended.
Gotcha.
That's when I was like, okay, you guys, I liked the rebranding. I think, okay, we touched on it earlier. Rebooting #1s to me is played out, especially when it's Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man was the worst example. They should have never ended it at 700. How many volumes occurred after that? But to make the whole company, and there's 52 universes and 52 titles that have 52 issues, like I thought that was a good idea. And then when it ended, I just lost interest. And then Rebirth, I read the first couple titles. I was like, well, I'm not really getting anything big at it. Rebirth didn't feel as big as the reboot of New 52.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Because I, as a reader for DC, like I felt let down with New 52 when that was coming out. And then I felt like they wanted to bring someone like me back with Rebirth. And I was all in on Rebirth for almost every single title. So, okay, we got the opposite of that right there.
I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. New 52 is where I ended.
Yeah, I always thought Flashpoint was the end.
Well, I love
literally
Flashpoint,
ended,
I don't know.
but you literally
I love
ended the
Flashpoint
universe.
too.
But it literally ends the universe. Everything after that
does.
is a restart. I mean, honestly, you could probably go back. Crisis made sense. But 0 Hour, that might have been the other one, because that one, Parallax ate the fucking multiverse, and it restarted. So yeah, I'd say it's either it's a toss up between 0 Hour and Flashpoint.
Man, Flashpoint was magnificent. Did y'all ever see the Flashpoint animated movie as well?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's really
Yes,
good.
I did.
And now we got Ezra Miller Flashpoint movie.
How that's the worst cast.
Why did everybody start
That's up there-
laughing when I said that?
That's up with Jennifer Gardner as Elektra.
No, man, see, don't do that. Now, Jim, man, I watch you all the time, man. You breaking me down, man. Don't do me like that.
But the Ezra Miller was a terrible
Yeah,
casting,
it's-
especially with the long hair and stuff. Like, it's not even the same character.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
It's up there with casting a guy that's over 6 feet as Wolverine and have him taller than Cyclops.
He pulled it off, though, man. He pulled it off.
Don't care.
They
Still
didn't
not
have him
Wolverine.
standing next to 5'5" people and showing how tall he was. You know, but and you
But
know
he
what's
did
funny?
a couple of times.
I never really. Go ahead.
I just want to say, Doc is one of these people who want Danny DeVito to play Wolverine.
Yeah,
He's one of those type of people.
Bob
That's kind of
Hoskins.
what I was gonna
No,
say.
I wanted Bob Hoskins. Damn it!
Yeah.
I never liked the kind of lore in comics where Wolverine was 5'3". Like I never
don't
really
like that
saw that. You know, it would only certain artists would really depict it like that. Like I don't know. I feel like a Sam Keith would do a really I don't know, kind of stocky Wolverine. But like when you see him drawn out, he looks like a regular sized person. He's like you forget he's supposed to be 5'3".
When I have that image of Wolverine, I'm thinking of two people. I'm thinking the way Jim Lee drawed them, and I'm thinking about Clint Eastwood. I'm thinking about Clint Eastwood. So
That's interesting.
when you had my boy Hugh Jackman play Wolverine, that was perfect casting. Because if you look at
he's a foot too tall.
if you look at Hugh Jackman and you look at Clint Eastwood, that's the same man.
Yeah, I know, and I never think
It
of
almost made
Wolverine
me
as
think:
Clint
did
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood have Hugh Jackman?
I never
secretly?
thought about Clint Eastwood either, but that actually is a really good like a comparison, like a grumpy old man. He doesn't want to hear any of this new age shit, and he's like,
And he a cowboy
and
Clint Eastwood
smoking a
is
cigar, and he is a cowboy. People
Yeah.
forget he's got the cowboy hat, the tank top, and the boots, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Old Man
I
Logan.
always-
There you go.
the short
I
guy's
always-
got to have a little bit of heels going on with it. That's why they wear them cowboy boots.
I always thought the way Jim Lee drew Wolverine, I thought he was looking at Clint Eastwood pictures and cowboy movies.
For the face, but other than
Yeah.
that,
I'm talking about the personality too, like a rough cowboy
Right.
who,
well,
you know.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
never
but-
thought of that, but I could get on board with it.
but it was just for the face. He didn't
Right.
draw the body anywhere near.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the body.
I
I'm
know.
just-
Well, the body happens to be about 80% of the human being.
Well, the thing about comic books back then, everybody was on steroids. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
everybody
you're the
had
biggest Rob
muscle-
Liefeld in the world, Doc.
Exactly.
We've all seen the Captain America picture. We've got You Murdered That Guy. Star Wars doesn't have a timeline. It's a fairy tale. A long time ago is the same
Yeah, I
as
get
Once
it.
Upon a Time.
Yeah, it don't have a
Very good.
timeline, but I'm just pointing out Marvel did come out with a comment trying to say pretty much that Star Wars took place in the Cowboys and Indians time. Now, I know that's probably not canon, but I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm just
There you
saying.
go.
And that's
We
the
got-
beautiful thing about Star Wars. It doesn't have a timeline. A long time ago in the galaxy far away, that's timeless. That's
Absolutely. We
timeless.
got Kenneth Dalek here with $20 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Agree with why do you always got to agree with these fools? On Black Panther, he's never had a great comic run. Jeffrey Thorne, one shot might be the best ever made. He should be writing Black Panther. Also on In Living Color, SNL only had a few superstars: Murphy, Murray, Farrell, Faye. There's been more superstars.
There's a few more than that, especially that 90s
Adam
cast.
Sandler.
Man, that 90s cast is stacked.
I said Adam Sandler, sir.
But you got to
Are you
count
serious?
you got to count. First of all, Adam Sandler, say what you will, is like a multi-millionaire,
Yes.
huge
Yeah.
empire. But and you had to have started on SNL, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, they were all stand-up guys, right? But I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure SNL was his big break, right?
SNL was his big break. Same with
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley,
Oh,
David
yeah.
Spade.
But here's the other thing:
Mike
all those
Myers.
SNL guys' movies were just longer versions of their sketches.
That's
You know
all
what
it
I'm saying?
was. That's
At
When
all
you-
least
it
for
was.
the first couple movies. Yeah.
Yeah. But then Adam Sandler, he always makes himself the super hunk guy. He always makes himself.
He's just a man child that needs to learn to grow up. Is okay, right?
Yeah.
Becoming an adult.
I tell y'all guys something. Adam Sandler only has 2 good movies, and most of his catalog is trash.
Listen,
You wanna-
I want to talk to
Trash.
you, Fatal J, about misgendering Carrie. Why
If you want to see a good Adam Sandler movie that really gets you, you got to watch that movie Click.
that's
What, with
what
the
I
remote?
watched.
Yeah.
What's the one where he goes on vacation? Is it
It was
mixed?
terrible.
That's all of them.
That's so bad.
So-
Those
The
were-
only movie I like from him is when he was golfing and
Happy
the
Gilmore.
water
Happy
boy.
Gilmore.
Water
And the
Boy
Water
was
Boy.
good.
Billy Madison's where it's at for me. Just
Yeah.
love
Yeah,
that.
Billy Madison was there. Yeah,
Big
Those
Daddy.
the
was
only
good.
3.
Big Daddy is like probably his most notable one, right?
Up
like-
until what is it, Mr. D?
Mr. D?
They were all pretty good in that movie.
I
It was
still
like,
I still
nah.
liked it as a guilty pleasure.
We've also got Kenneth Dalek. Thank you so much. Clint Eastwood is Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. More accurate. I don't know where
Yes.
this has come from. This is
Same
why you're
vibes.
talking about cowboys.
Because
Wolverine.
Fatal J had some weird thing about Clint Eastwood as Wolverine.
I love
just
Clint Eastwood,
wrong.
man.
I love
Clint
Clint
Eastwood
Eastwood
is
too. He's not
overrated.
Wolverine.
What?
That was Wolverine.
Did y'all just hear this man? Say that again, Wes.
I said, did you just say Clint Eastwood is overrated? You were about
Oh,
to
I
be on
thought
my
you
naughty
said
list.
Clint Eastwood is overrated.
No, all I
You
said
out of your
was
mind?
Clint Eastwood is not Wolverine.
No, it's way too tall.
Clint
He's-
Eastwood
What the
is 90 freaking years old and still making dope movies.
Don't they?
Ev-
Aren't
It's
people
not Wolverine.
campaigning for his son to play Wolverine in the MCU?
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
And he's actually shorter too.
I
Who
think
was
that
the
would be a
first guy that was going
perfect
to
pick.
be Wolverine in the movies, Doc? It was that short, stocky guy.
Doug Ray Scott. Oh,
No,
you're talking.
Bob Hoskins.
Oh, Bob
Bob
Hoskins. Yeah,
Hoskins.
Bob,
There, that's
Bob
Wolverine.
Hoskins. Yeah, Bob Hoskins was the one that whenever when James Cameron wanted to do what initially was going to do an X-Men movie, it was going to be Bob Hoskins, but oddly enough, it was still Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart is kind of the only eternally appropriate casting.
I want to give a special shout out to Javane in the chat. Thank you for coming, sir.
We got Javade. He's
Yeah,
going to be
here,
on the
man.
channel next weekend. I do want to say, because next weekend is kind of close to Thanksgiving, I imagine there's not going to be a lot of news coming out. So we're going to do an Ask Us Anything. I'm going to put out a a message in the community tab, and then I'm going to send out some stuff on social media. So we're just going to do a free for all and talk about whatever you guys want to.
Oh, that'll be good.
And hopefully Gabriel Hernandez, who's also now in the chat, so I'm going to invite him as well from Weird Science Reviews.
Now, Jim, you see how he already got his picks? Now watch, he gonna say somebody got sick. Fatal J, can you come on? What? I guarantee you.
I'm going to invite Skip. I got no.
You always got your lineup ready, and then when it come to me, hey man, they didn't come through. Can you stop by?
I invite you, the first person I invited to join the
when
channel.
You message me, I was slobbering on my pillow, dead sleep to the world.
Look,
Yeah,
Wes is like the RZA of this podcast, man. He's got all the players in his mind where they're gonna go.
I'm the ODB, I guess.
You got to roll with it.
Oh, happy belated birthday!
No,
to
I think you're a
ODB.
little more like Raekwon.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I always thought I was the ODB type. ODB is my favorite Wu-Tang member.
No, ODB is way too wild, man. You got to be. He's a loose
Maybe
cannon.
like, are you the ODB from what is it, Impact Wrestling?
No, man.
Old dirty, yeah, that lady. She's great. Do we have any other thoughts on when the DC Comics universe actually ended? Is it just obviously?
I think DC Comics has always struggled with what they want to do. Do they want to be a multiverse? Do they want to have one streamlined thing, and they go back and forth every decade or so? You know.
Yeah, I'm surprised you took Doomsday Clock, but I guess if you're going to integrate the Watchmen universe, it could get confusing.
Well, not just that, but when creatively speaking, you know, seeing where Jeff Johns and Dan DiDio were parting ways with where they wanted the storylines to go. That was where you could tell, okay, there's a big difference of ideas here.
It was really Dark Knight's Metal. Once that thing was an enormous hit, and Jeff Johns had moved on to producing the movies and stuff in DC films, it was kind of the end of that. DC rebirth was over, unfortunately. Kenneth says, Wes is the man with the master plan. That's absolutely correct. And it's, you know, and Fatal J is always in the plans. He's always feels disrespected.
I told you. I already told you how it goes, man. I'm the bench warmer.
You're Willie Beeman. You're the star. You saved the panel.
I gotta wait till somebody get hurt though. That was Willie Beeman.
Yeah, Willie Beeman's a starter.
So is Josh the captain? Is Josh Cap? What's it, Cap Rooney? Wherever Dan.
Yeah, Cap Rooney.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, old Josh, he's not feeling well. Hopefully, he's watching this and he's doing better. But his voice was not there for this week. All right, is there anything else to talk about DC? Moving on. Let's talk about Batman Fear State. Now, Jim, you said that you didn't hate this. I hated Fear State. I thought it was too big. I thought the continuity did not make sense between titles. There was an ending in Nightwing, and then they redid the ending in Batman this week. I thought that was atrocious. But
yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And I didn't read all the tie-ins. I didn't go down the Fear State checklist. Actually, when I read this last issue of Batman, I was like, oh, this is the ending? I thought there was like a laundry list of issues, and I guess I just am not reading a lot of those titles. I didn't hate Fear State. I liked bridging the gap between where we were and Future State. I thought that was cool. Jorge Jimenez, amazing artwork.
Absolutely.
That ending was just like, here's the ending, guys. And then we'll move on to Joshua
Time to go to
Williamson next
Substack.
week. Yeah, like that sucked, man. Like, so Future State never happened, or it could. That's what could have happened had the magistrate taken over. Who was this Sinclair guy? Why did he get so much power? Like, I don't know. I like the Peacekeeper. That what's his name? Sean Mahoney? Is that what his name was?
Yeah.
I like that. I like how he was already a little messed up, and Scarecrow got into his head, and he was part of the magistrate. So Scarecrow infiltrated. I thought Scarecrow was going to be a bigger deal. He didn't really do much. Yeah,
man, we got Muttman in the comment section. Fatal J, that's your guy, right?
Man, what up, Mudman? Mudman helped me with Ninja Blast. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
sir. Mudman, make sure to check out his comic book also, man. It's a dope one.
Definitely got to get Muttman on the channel.
We have to,
Wanna have
man.
him.
We have to.
Yeah. Well, Kenneth Dallin, Fear State is over. I thought it would last for over a year. No, it's over. I guess there's a Fear State Omega that's still supposed to come out. I don't know what they're going to do in that one, Drew. Is it just going to be what Fear State Alpha was, where it's just a recap?
Probably, most likely. I mean, they actually did that. They 2 issues in a row where it was like pretty much the same issue back to back. It was a Fear State Alpha in that issue of Batman, they actually got away. I wouldn't be surprised if they reprint a previous issue and just slap a different cover on it and call it Pure State Omega.
With a new artist. We got Mr. Soul 73 FBT DC edited with that new 52 BS. That was not.
But see, the thing about New 52, it got so many people into reading comics again, man. A great
But
jumping
they all
off point.
left.
Yeah, probably
they
a
didn't
good
have
amount
a full
definitely
plan.
left. Right.
What sells more, comics post New 52 or comics pre New 52?
Could be other
Pre-New
factors there, but I see what you're saying.
They didn't stay, so I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
There's certainly been some that stayed that said that was their favorite time period. But whenever you come in, that's kind of your favorite age of comics, right?
And
When
then
you
the
first
nostalgia
get
factor.
introduced.
Yeah.
Yep. Man. I don't know, Drew. What'd you think of Fear State?
I mean, besides Jorge Jimenez's art, I mean, it was utter garbage. This was one of the worst Batman events ever, in my opinion.
And the repetitive nature of it. We had City of Bane. We had Joker War.
Yeah,
and not just that, but there was really no clear vision for what this event was. Who is the big villain? It kept shifting who the focus
Is it
of the
Simon
villain
Sane?
was.
Is it Nakano? Is it
Is it Scarecrow? Is it
the Seer?
Is it the Gardener? I don't know. And even to this day, I'm like, so who really was the big bad guy of this series of this event? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't.
It almost seems like it was more like maybe like there's a chain of events that led to this dystopian state-run city or whatever. That Scarecrow got infiltrated the magistrate became this tyrannical thing. But yeah, it wasn't like there's a Joker or a Bane. It was kind of more like the government, which is always weird when I think when comic book pros do that, because they tend to lean toward that side, but then they depict it as this terrible thing in comics. But anyway.
Yeah. You know what's weird also that really disappoints me? And Fado J, maybe you could chime in on this one. Is Batman never won? Poison Ivy saved the day, and then Mighty Molly, is it Magic Molly, whatever her name is, she saved the day, and Batman was just along for the ride in his own comic book. That one always annoys me too.
Oh, they always do that type of stuff with a female. Excuse me, they always do that with a woman, make the man look bad. That's been going on for years in comic books.
Well, Batman did show Miracle Molly that everything was cool, so she didn't have to go full villain. So there was that.
As he pulled her back
he
from
took
the
off
edge.
his mask in front of her. I could not.
Yeah.
I was about that.
What?
I could not believe that.
Yeah, I forgot
Why
about
does he
that
keep
part.
doing that?
To just show her, look, I'm Bruce Wayne, and I'm fighting the good fight with you.
Yeah, it's not like you're not some part of some weird underground crew that's trying to control people with computer technology.
Yeah. How could you not trust her? Yeah.
It's so bad. Then it was the continuity that really threw me off, Drew.
Yeah.
It was depending on what you were reading.
Yeah, and not just that. I mean, in previous events, like case in point, Nightfall, up in the corner in the very front of the cover, it would say what part it is of the series. None of that happened during Fear State, saying what part number it was. So you just had to assume you had to read Nightwing before you read Batman to understand why they're in their super suits at the very end. And it's like, oh,
I read Batman first, of course.
Yes,
because
me too.
why
Yeah.
would I not read Batman before Nightwing? That's
Yes.
the big comic book. I go in there and I was like, when the fuck did this happen?
Yes.
Hey,
exactly.
I got a quick question because I'm not really reading DC like that. Is Fear State a sequel to Future State?
It's a prequel,
Sort of.
but Future
Kinda.
State came out first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because see, I read Future State Batman with Dan Mora, and I loved that.
So Fear State is how we got to Future State.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They
Gotcha.
told it
Potentially.
backwards.
Gotcha.
But it had so many cooks in the kitchen. Like Mariko Tamaki had her own take on what the story was about. Tom Taylor had his own take on what the story was about. And then you would have like these little one shots thrown into that stupid Batman Urban Legends. It was like, and John Ridley had his own idea of what Fear State was about, and I Am Batman.
John
Yeah,
Ridley's
like-
in his own world over there on that book, yo.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like the most uneven book. Like sometimes, like when he's doing Batman stuff, it's pretty good, but everything else in that book is just trash.
Everything else is terrible. Yeah, you breathe a sigh of relief when he's finally doing some Batman stuff. But I gave up on it, man. I couldn't do it anymore.
I'm thinking now with the character going to New York, getting out of Gotham, hopefully he is smart in giving this character his own legacy, starting fresh. This could be a good jumping on point, maybe, but we'll see what happens. I mean,
the thing is that he wrote Jace. He's such a hypocrite He has no good motivation. He's unlikable.
Yes, and I said it to Wes before. I'm like, do we even know why he is Batman?
Because he almost killed somebody on his super sweet 16 birthday party or something like that.
It's like, well, my dad has access to the technology, so I'll just steal it.
Might as well.
Yeah, that's what Riri did. Why not? Yeah.
We got Kenneth Alex says, do we have time for a hero fight? If not, it's fine. Absolutely, we do. We always got time for that kind of stuff. This is a nerd podcast. We will talk about nerd stuff until the cows go home. We got Lane Kramer. So, Jeb, speaking of Punchline, what are your thoughts on her statue with Joker coming from Prime One? And did you order the J&D Bale Batman statue?
So I love the fact that Prime One is working with comic book artists for their statues. Jorge Jimenez designing it. It's amazing. Punchline, I'm the type that I would get it. I like to have different characters. We don't want to see Harley a million times, but I could understand that Punchline might not be established enough for somebody to drop whatever it is, $1,200 on the piece. But I think Prime One is thinking outside the box. I didn't order the J&D Batman and Bale statue. I'm not really a movie statue collector, and I'm not really into the hyper-realistic look. I like more comic book-inspired pieces, and when they look like he's going to turn his head and like say something to me, I can't do it. I get freaked out, man. So life-size bust with the medical-grade silicone, I'm not with it. And the J&D stuff, it's high-quality stuff, but I'm just not really into the uber-expensive, hyper-realistic stuff.
Are you speaking?
Oh, I didn't realize I'm on mute. Jim, I got a small request, man, and I know this is going to be a task. Can you show us your holy grail of statues that's in your room right now? Is that possible?
The holy grail? So if you guys, for people who really know me, I don't get too attached to things, right? So
I saw your old video where you said you were flip them and then you'll flip them. I watch your stuff. I'm not like Wes, who just skim through it a little bit.
So like, I might have a favorite right now. My favorites right now. I don't know if I'll be able to even show you guys on the laptop, but
man, hook us up.
The Sentinel X-Men dioramas from Iron Studios.
Nice.
Those are my favorite pieces right now, and I'm waiting on the third and final one. I got the Sideshow one as a placeholder over there, but I love those Transformers over there right now, the PCS Generation 1. And, of course, I love the Berserk statue. I got those downstairs in the big display. Just crazy.
Berserk, what you talking about Berserk? Is that anime?
Manga.
It's a manga anime.
Bro, you a Berserk fan?
Huge Berserk fan.
Man, give me this. Give me the pound, man.
I thought you watched his channel. He did an enormous video.
Yeah, so did he watch it?
I must have missed that one, bro, because, Berserk is like the anime of all animes, if you know about Berserk.
Hero was the anime of all
and
animes.
then the creator died. How they going to do Berserk, Jill? How they going to do it?
I think, well, they put out, the last chapter, and I don't know, he has, like, his students that were part of his, like, little cabal or whatever that might do more for it.
Do you think Guts gonna actually defeat Griffin?
They say Berserk isn't supposed to have a happy ending.
Yeah, that's true.
I would like to think so, but when I think about Berserk, man, I don't think about it like, oh, this is a manga or this is an anime. It just feels like its own thing for me, man. I don't know.
That's true.
It's just a dope ass story. I love how it influenced like Final Fantasy with Cloud and the Buster Sword. Like when it tied into my childhood nostalgic things, and then it was just like a badass story that went there, like they'll go there in this book. You know what I'm saying? So it's got great lore, everything that a franchise should have, a great mythology, a great lore.
I agree.
Heaven and hell, life and death, big
best story ever, bro. For the people that don't know, we talking about Berserk. If you want to get caught up, I got a homework assignment for you. Get on YouTube. That 90s Berserk series is on there. Watch that joint. Watch all of them, and you'll be caught up on the story of Berserk. And trust me, you will fall in love with it.
And if the Guts theme doesn't hit you in the feels, it might not be for you.
Yeah, but man, that scene when they go to the hell and that what's that called,
the eclipse?
The eclipse. That will mess you up.
Yeah, it messed up Casca for life, pretty much.
It messed her up, and it take her a long time to get her mind back.
Pretty much decades, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna start talking about this because nobody know what we're talking about.
No, Carrie's about to jump in there. She's about to do a bunch of manga stuff. We do have Kenneth Alex. Since I've been into Blade lately, I want to put this fight in the books. The fight of the vampire hunters Blade the Daywalker versus Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Fight to the death. Who wins? Carrie, who
Blade.
wins?
Oh.
Look, I'm a Buffy fan, but I have to say Blade.
Yeah.
Ding ding ding.
Blade
on now.
definitely wins.
Blade's got to be the one, right?
Hand-to-hand combat? Come on, man.
He's got all the
Blade.
tools, got
Yeah.
the weapons.
Exactly.
He's basically Punisher, but a vampire.
Yeah.
He's even doesn't even have the van with the guy. Yeah, the helper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Whisper.
What do you think, Doc? Who's winning?
I go with Blade.
Yeah, it's got to be Blade.
Mostly because he's just gonna kick the shit out of her.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
What do you think, Fatal J? Who's winning?
Oh man, Blade every day. He's a murderous killer vampire
Yeah.
slayer.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
So there you go, Kenneth. If you were leaning towards Blade, I think you're correct. I think we're all on board that one. We've also got Lade Kramer. Yeah, Guts cannot win. Besides Griffith, there are still the other members of Godhand like Stan. I see him beating Griff, becoming the replacement for him.
That's
First
true,
of all-
man. Because Griffin is like a god. He can.
Well, that-
Gus can't even touch Griffin. That's how
So that's
powerful.
what I was
he is.
going to say. And I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil, but I'm sure you won't even remember what we're talking about when you get to it. First of all, it's like how many volumes. But I don't think Guts can ever win because you can't undo what was done. How him and Casca, how they were hurt, you can never undo that. And yeah, Griffith is a god. He's ascended to above the god hand level seemingly. So it's like, I guess it's a sad ending, but there's still, I don't want to even say anymore, but
Jim, what I love about Berserk, Guts is fighting against destiny. That's like the theme
against
of the
all
book.
odds.
Yeah, that's
And
why
he's
they
just
call him.
human.
That's why they call him the struggler, because he's going against what's supposed to happen. And sometimes he wins, and sometimes he don't. Great
He'll get his ass
storytelling
kicked.
though.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Lade Kramer. I don't know. Does anyone else have anything to say about Fear State? I was underwhelmed.
Good riddance.
let's see what Joshua Williamson got for us, right?
Absolutely. Let's get into the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. We had a lot of things confirmed. We do have Electro. We got a first look at him. I think we had already seen Doc Ock. What else do we got? We got the Green Goblin and whatnot. While I did find the trailer to be pretty fun, I'll be honest, Carrie, I did not like the humor. I certainly didn't like them, kind of making fun of Doc Ock and the threat that he actually poses. They laughed in his face, and I definitely didn't like the Scooby line.
Yeah, that
Doctor
really
Strange.
bothered me.
I thought that
I
was
just-
good.
It looks good, but I still worry about this whole multiverse thing. It's just I think it's just going to be like a fix-all, in their opinion, for what they want the MCU to be from here on out. They're going to be able to introduce characters without actually having to do a real setup for these characters. And I mean, I'm still going to go see it because I'm curious, but I'm not like the biggest fan of Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Me too.
You hate Tom
Thank
Holland?
you guys. Thank
Hate
you.
Tom
Guys. I'm
Holland.
the only one.
No, I like Tom Holland.
Spider-Man.
I like Tom Holland,
Yeah,
Look,
but I
but I
hate
like-
that version of Spider-Man.
yeah.
I-
don't like how they-
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't like Iron Boy.
Right. But
But
now he's Doctor Strange boy. If you notice in the new trailer, now Doctor Strange is playing that Tony Stark role.
yeah,
And that's what he messed
He always
up.
needs a mentor.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
wow.
Never had a
apparently
mentor.
always needs a mentor. But regardless, as an actual like superhero Spider-Man, regardless of him using all somebody else's tech and shit, and as Peter Parker, he's the best mix of all three, because Toby was a good Peter and a terrible Spider-Man. Andrew was a good Spider-Man and an atrocious Peter. And now you have a good mix of both, except for he's not actually playing Spider-Man.
Right.
So
Yeah, I can
He's got a
understand
New
you
York
saying
accent.
he might be more well-rounded in that aspect, but everything else just ruins it for me.
Yeah, you don't get the supporting cast from the comics except for Aunt May, and even she's done differently.
I kind of dig Hot Aunt May. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
you do, brother.
You do.
yeah, bangable Aunt May is I'm all right with that. It kind of explains Doc Ock's fascination with her a lot more now.
But you're right.
Mary
They
Jane.
definitely nerfed Doc Ock in the trailer. So okay, so
Yes.
you're not going to be a threat. You're going to be a comedy relief,
Yeah.
punchline. And then the Scooby-Doo this crap line didn't make sense because doesn't Scooby-Doo, you just pull off the mask and it's the guy they kind of casually introduced in the beginning. How is that the same as this situation? It's not even anything close to that.
It was just for a way for MJ to put him down.
Yes, and I hate the MJ character. You know, especially after this trailer.
That's not
like,
MJ.
I'm saying to myself,
call her
can you
only
please die
Michelle.
horribly in this movie, please.
So
only call her Michelle. Do not call her MJ.
The entire supporting cast is terribly casted. Like every single one. Flash, terrible.
Yes.
And then you got Ned Leeds. I get it. Why didn't they just make him Genki? Why didn't they just combine that? You know what I mean?
They didn't want to pay Bendis. Because that's an actual full Bendis character.
No. You hit it on the head. And who gives a shit about Ned Leeds? And how is that Spider-Man's best friend?
Where's Harry?
Yeah, supposed to be Harry Osborn. And now they talking about that guy that we talking about now, the fat dude. He's supposed to be the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, but I thought there was a thing where he was all like in crazy good shape now, but it didn't look like that in the trailer, right?
I know in the trailer he looks still fat.
I'm just trying to say I thought he was going to become Hobgoblin, but after the trailer, I'm like, okay, that's probably not going to happen.
I saw the real
from a chair,
guy.
Yeah.
Unless, what about, you know how the Green Goblin in the trailer comes in and he looks different and has no mask? Maybe that's Ned Leeds.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah,
multiverse
from the chair, operating from the chair, could be. Who knows? Operating could be like a robot,
or like Wes said, maybe from a different multiverse.
Hey, they could pull a Twilight on it. Remember when the one dude that was in the first movie and he showed up, he was jacked up in the second movie because he was a werewolf?
Doctor Strange is gonna be a variant. I hope you guys know that too. That's why he fighting Spider-Man in the middle of that trailer. And I also want to say this: I saw the real Spider-Man trailer, not the one we saw. I saw the real.
Mean? Are you on the dark web again? Fatal
the unedited one?
The unedited one from Brazil. They dropped the ball. They dropped the ball for this movie, man. They dropped the ball.
To edit something out.
They edited two people out. Oh, excuse me, spoilers.
Charlie Cox in it, and him showing up at the jail and telling him to not talk. And then there was the other one where the lizard gets punched by an invisible person, which would be Miles because he has camouflage powers. Yay, great.
And that whole part where Michelle is falling is probably going to be Andrew Garfield coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be him.
Because you just see a hand, right?
And I want her to die.
I know, me too.
I want her neck to snap by Andrew Garfield too.
And what makes Andrew Garfield think that he should be the one rescuing? Because that didn't work out so good last time.
He wants to redeem himself for
failing
last time.
And y'all notice like the bars when we got that Andrew Garfield link and he on the bars like this. That was the same scene, like from when they was fighting the Sandman and Electro. That's the same thing.
The green screen scene or blue screen scene.
I will say, at least this movie, Electro actually kind of looks like Electro.
Yes,
Willy beaming.
He's not Lightning Lad.
Yeah.
He's not Lightning Lad this time. He's actually Electro.
He looked like Jay Smooth from those gambling commercials. You know,
he looks CGI. He looks CGI the whole time too, right? Yeah. His face and everything didn't look like it was really him.
Yeah.
Kenneth says Sony's making way too many trailers and giving away the movie.
Yeah,
I think so. What we just heard from Fatal J, he just gave away all the spoilers.
We know the whole movie between the two trailers, though. We know the whole plot.
I'm just gonna put it out there for everybody. We don't see the leaks. Yes, they in the movie. They're in there. It's out there. They're in the movie.
Yeah.
What? It's no guessing no more.
From the multiverse and a bunch of different versions of Spider-Man. Yeah. I think it still looks exciting. You're not going to watch it, Fatal J.
No, I'm gonna watch it.
Remember last time you dumped on a movie and everyone downvoted you? No one will know that again. Remember the Suicide Squad?
Oh yeah, I went viral when everybody dumped on me. So I welcome that. You know. Now, did you like Suicide Squad? Did you like that movie? The new one that came out.
Yeah, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Oh, okay, I did.
He likes good movies.
But by the way, I
probably wouldn't watch it again. I mean, it was cool, but
see.
But by the way, if they do Miles in this, he needs to actually just be animated into the movie. Like there's an animated person. Like there's an animated person in this movie. Like all right, fucking fine, whatever, cool. Not a CGI one. Literally, like goddamn Who Framed Roger Rabbit shit.
Oh, like from End of the Spider-Verse?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's-
literally
yeah.
have that exact model.
That
Like
would
Like
be
Cool World?
somebody drawing it in like Cool World. Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, I tell you what, if he shows up though, that Ultimate Fallout 4 is gonna crazier than it already is.
Facsimile
Yeah, I got a
edition just
couple
came
copies
out.
of that.
There you go. That book is crazy in the 9.8. In the Djurjevic variant, forget about it.
Oh yeah, the Djurjevic variant you can't get. I have a couple of copies of the second print variant too.
Mm.
Those
They,
Hey,
yeah,
Doc,
that's Spike, too.
the white cover.
Have you told
Yeah.
Jim Mint what you bought when you were like 8 years old with your babysitting money?
Yeah. Well, actually, it ended up turning into my house. I bought an AF-15 when I was 9, so 1989,
Mhm.
and I sold it in 2011 and bought my house.
And
It was
but look
my
what it's
down-
worth.
It was down. It
The
was my
same-
down payment.
That same book now is you could have bought the whole house.
I know now.
wow.
I mean, it was about a 3.35. I can't remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head at this point.
What
I
was that,
kind of
20K back then, maybe?
when I sold it, it was a little more than that. When I bought it was 500.
Now I bet you right now it's probably around 50K, man. I'd have to look it up. Don't quote me, but it's crazy expensive now.
Yeah.
So maybe not buy your whole house, but yeah.
No, it
I had a-
would have just made my down payment even bigger.
Right. Well, that's really making the hobby fund itself, man. I love it.
Yeah.
We got laid. Kramer, give me We Are Venom in that movie, please. Do we think
Probably.
we're seeing Venom? We know that it looks like the
They set it
Spider-Man
up.
is going to be in the Venom
set it
and
up.
Morpheus.
I
movie.
know the answer to that question. Do you want me to spoil it?
You just did. So
Oh.
no. I mean, look, they purposely went out of their way to throw it into the Venom
Yes.
2 movie. Had nothing to do with the movie, so it has to be set up, right?
Lane Kramer, to answer your question, you're going to be very happy. Good luck,
My
man.
goodness.
I mean, this movie is already spoiled. It's already spoiled.
You're right. I
We
agree.
got Get It Alec. I like Buffy, but I like Blade a little more. Blade's got it. Here's another one. Since this came up earlier, fight of the black superheroes, Blade the Daywalker versus Black Panther, King of Wakanda. Who wins?
Oh, that's easy.
Mm.
That's easy.
All right,
Blade.
we'll do it. Fatal J,
Blade.
show us what you
Man,
got.
come on. Black Panther, the ultimate fighter and ultimate genius. Man, come on.
Right.
That's easy.
Black Panther's not going to lose. He's the hero.
Man.
Blade is the anti-hero.
All right,
That's why I
what
need
do you
Blade.
got there, Drew?
I'm gonna go with Blade on this because I think Black Panther's gonna be more restrained in
Yeah.
taking on Blade, whereas Blade, its gloves are off with Blade.
Plus,
he's
Blade's all going for the heart and stuff. Black
Yeah.
Panther's going to eat it if he gets a steak.
Well, and
Black
I think
Panther is going to use some Wakandan technology to like make it sun out of his palm or something. Tony Stark's going to
He's
help
a
him.
daywalker.
Yeah.
He's a
He's gonna have-
daywalker.
He's gonna have a certain. He's gonna have a certain frequency of ultraviolet rays that will hurt the Daywalker. Come on, man, it's comics.
Really? Who you got, Carrie? Who you think wins?
I'm going with Blade. I think Blade would win. Like Drew said, gloves are off.
All right,
Black
who's the
Panther
name of
could
the
be
what's the name of the
restrained.
puppy you got there?
Logan.
Logan.
There you go.
Is that named after a Wolverine character?
Yes.
There you go. I've got Aurora in my house.
Oh, okay.
She's on
There
the.
you go.
She's in my chair.
Yeah, he's
All right,
waking up.
Doc. You're the Marvel aficionado. You get the last word. Who wins? Blade.
Oh, it's
Or Black
Blade. It's Blade, and it's really not even terribly close. Because you know what vibranium does to a vampire? Fucking nothing.
Same thing it does to everything else. Aurora.
So,
So that's
yeah,
all you
it-
got, Doc. You're not gonna
No,
got any more
No,
behind that?
look, he's smart. They're equally strong. Black Panther's no stronger than Blade, and honestly, Blade could probably be stronger.
Well, he's a vampire. He's got some strength.
Yeah, and even with Black Panther having Black Panther-y super soldiery type stuff, to him it's nothing special. Black Panther won't do what's necessary to kill Blade. He'll try to neutralize him, and Blade won't have any qualms about cutting his goddamn head off.
Well, there you go. Thank you very much. We've also got Jordan Fugate, who's a made man. Haven't seen him on the channel. Good to see you back. The casting choices are definitely weird, but still looking forward to the movie, if anything, to see Toby and Andrew again. That's definitely going to be the money shot.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
going to see
seeing
it
it
still.
They're gonna have to blow our minds though with this end credit though, the post credit scene. Like bring out the X-Men or something, because all
If
they
they do that, if they tease Fantastic Four or X-Men, that's just going to be the icing on the cake that was needed.
Yeah, because they don't already blew the load with the Andrew Garfield. That was supposed to be like the Captain America catching the Thor hammer. It's supposed to be on that level, but we all know it now. You know? So they
definitely needed something to turn the tide. It doesn't sound like Eternals has any staying power whatsoever.
But they gave too much out. We would have been excited just from the Doc Ock reveal, because we now know our minds can now wander. Okay, anything is going to be possible here from any past franchise. But now they're like, they're giving us what we kind of expect, like what we assumed was going to happen. But it's like, now we know Electro's there. Now we know Lizard's there. Now we know Sandman's there. Like, come on.
Okay,
man.
so they're spoiling a little bit of the fan service.
Right.
But now you are going in knowing you're getting fan service.
But are we gonna are we expecting more fan service now that
no.
You
I think the expectation is, okay, we're giving you fan service. Please believe we're actually going to make you a good movie.
I think people probably are expecting the first appearance of a Fantastic Four or X-Men character as well.
This is the kicker. What if this movie sucks?
He could.
Well,
it absolutely could.
Yeah.
Has it really been a really bad MCU movie? Even Captain Marvel, which people dumped on, I watched it on a plane. It was pretty average.
Watched Shang-Chi and it was fucking terrible.
I
watched it last week and it was fucking terrible.
I could see that, Doc. I could see how somebody see it like that. To me, it was meh. It was meh.
I kind of like Shang-Chi. I think they did some different things that we didn't get in a cookie cutter Marvel movie, some mythos and stuff. I don't know.
It was more about the Mandarin than really Shang-Chi.
Right.
Shang-Chi was kind of like the side character in the movie.
It was a dumb family drama that deviated completely from the source material on absolutely everything.
The MCU has not made a Batman versus Superman or a Justice League epic style failure when you just watch the movie and you're like, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
But to your point, this didn't give us the Mandarin redemption that everybody said that he deserved from Iron Man 2. Nobody even cares, right? So it's I guess
Jim, hold on. Don't ever disrespect again, sir. You know exactly what you just did. No, not you, Jim. Not you. Him. Don't disrespect again, sir.
I've been quite consistent on my evaluation of BVS and Justice League.
Mr. Jim, man, everybody knows in the chat and on the panel, I am in the Zack Snyder cult. I am a disciple of Zack Snyder. So please don't disrespect again, sir.
I'm just saying, the MCU hasn't dropped to that level.
Yeah, you can't deny the flop of Justice League. The Snyder cut, I was with it. I enjoyed that, but the Justice League and the BVS, convoluted, too many storylines. We don't need to get into all that. But yeah, I feel like what has a point with that Marvel hasn't necessarily failed on that level, right?
Absolutely.
I feel like Shang-Chi was a failure on that level.
There you go. We've got Kenneth Dowling talking about the Black Panther. What advantage Black Panther has is his vibranium suitor tech. Taken away, Blade has it. Blade stronger, faster, vicious, fights vampires regularly. As good a fighter as Black Panther, Blade has it. There you go. Sounds like the Blades have it on this over Black Panther.
Real quick, back to Marvel. After they had their investor day, when they showed off all the trailers, what's coming out, a lot of the investors and the stock, it didn't change. It didn't go up. It didn't. If anything, it dipped down after the reveal. So there really isn't a lot of confidence from what I've seen in the new material coming out.
Well, I think this is supposed to be the big springboard into Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, where you're actually going to have all these new teams introduced.
I'm kind of excited for that, though, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I give a damn about. I'm kind of into Spider-Man. All right, cool. I don't need Spider-Man. I don't like I don't need Spider-Man. I'd be happier if only the villains came through. And you actually put Spider-Man like this Spider-Man to the test because
he's never
well, but you know what? And even the other ones, none of them ever actually had to go toe to toe with more than one character by themselves at a time. Even for like the 5 seconds that he started going in Spider-Man 3, where he started going against Sandman and Venom at once, within 5 minutes, the Green Goblin redeemed. Harry Green Goblin was, and it was 1-on-1. It was a 2-on-2 again.
Also,
the Harry Green Goblin. Nice.
Do you feel like the Spider-Man No Way Home is stealing the thunder from the Multiverse of Madness by basically
doing it
taking
already?
Its whole yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Introducing the concepts that I think that are going to be explored fully in that movie. That's what I think's happening.
I think it's going to be an exploration of the reason behind it, not necessarily anything else. The ramifications happen before the explanation. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey man, all this multiverse stuff so far from Marvel has been mediocre. Bring out the heavy hitters, Fantastic Four, X-Men. Bring that stuff out, man. What are you waiting on?
So is that what they're going to have to do? It's a multiverse, and then at the end of the day, they all end up in the same universe.
It'll be a reverse. It'll be kind of Marvel's Crisis, where they all end up on our Earth, and that. But you're also going to end up with recast Captain America, recast Steve Rogers. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They don't
no, we don't. No, we don't. I don't give a fuck. Falcon isn't Captain America. He will never be Captain America, and he can't be Captain America. So I don't give a fuck what they say.
I agree. End up with a real black man. I never did care about no Falcon turning into Captain America. I'm just telling the truth.
You will end up with a recast Captain America.
Yeah.
You will end up with a recast Iron Man, and you will likely end up probably with a recast Thor, because they'll kill Thor probably around that time. No.
I wouldn't doubt if we get like a Secret Empire situation where Chris Evans does come back, but he's evil Cap.
No, we gonna get a Secret Invasion too. Like that's already in the works. A Secret Invasion show. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But then you'll end up with recasting everybody, and now you'll have a universe where the X-Men exist and mutants exist. Spider-Man already exists. He might be. We'll see where that goes. Whether or not what's his kid will stick around and be a more adult Spider-Man. And then you'll have the Fantastic Four, and then you'll reintroduce the original MCU characters.
Right. I think we've done this Spider-Man stuff enough. Let's talk about these new DC and Marvel titles that we've got. Obviously, we had the solicitations for February 2022 come out. Marvels will be up tonight here on the channel after this live stream at about 5 p.m. Eastern time. And then tomorrow morning, the DC solicitation video will be up. But let's do a little preview early. We had some interesting stuff came out. Carrie, is there anything in there that kind of caught your eye? Obviously, we had the Gwenverse coming out. We've got What If Miles Morales. We've got Aquaman. Anything catch your fancy for a good or bad reason?
All bad. I'm not really liking this idea of taking Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales and doing like a whole bunch of different versions of them in different universes. And I'm not sold on Aquaman.
You're not sold on Aquaman? It does feel like Aquaman Legacy from the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else? What do you got, Doc? Is anything in there excite you? Got you upset?
I want to see real Gwen's costume for when they really introduce real Gwen in Gwenverse, and it's just her casket.
That's a pretty dark thought.
I don't give a shit about a bunch of alternate reality dead girls.
It's not alternate realities. It's multiverse.
She's a dead girl, and I don't care about any of the other alternate realities. I only care
about.
Do
you care about the alternate reality of Miles Morales? Are you excited for Miles Morales Captain America?
Nope. Hey, let's how many more times do we get to do just mash up characters where it's like you take all they're doing is like pulling the head off of one action figure and sticking it on the body of another. That's literally all they're doing at this point.
The problem is that it worked a couple times, so it's like,
yeah, so they're going back to the well again and again. Way to fucking kill it. I mean, like actually kill it. Like put a gun to its head and shoot it in the head. Any sort of good idea.
But as a retailer, one thing I'm going to tell you why it's going to sell so well, there will be some hot covers for this book. I guarantee you. Absolutely. There will be.
Although it's Greg Land doing the Gwenverse covers instead of J. Scott Campbell, which I thought was strange. Mm-hmm. So, Spider-Gwen just has that O face in all the covers. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that. My opinion.
What are you excited for? Obviously, you guys are doing the ordering down at the shop. Is there anything you got a particular eye on that is coming out in February 2022 that you just announced, Drew?
I'm on the ones I'm looking at for Marvel are Sabretooth, Maestro, the World War M. That looks good.
Oh yeah.
Gonna keep reading Moon Knight. I'm on the bandwagon now for Strange Academy. That's been good. And Hulk. Holding out hope for a lot of those. And for DC, honestly,
it's a barren wasteland.
Maybe that Suicide Squad miniseries and Detective Comics and Arkham City, the World Order, whatever it is, then that's about it.
The Order of the World, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we got Kenneth Dowell here. The only thing I'm excited about is Devil's Raid. Zdarsky, for the most part, has done a good job on Daredevil, and I want him to close it out right. Yeah, well, the thing is, he's not closing it out.
Right. So, it was too drawn. It was too drawn out with the whole last arc or so. Right. It's been ever since King in Black we were in that arc.
Yeah, the pacing has been. You can just tell it's been padded for the trade.
Yeah.
With a lot of those issues.
Hey, is Devil Reign still has to do with Mephisto?
No, it's Wilson Fisk.
Oh, okay. Because see, I got some old Top Cow comics that was Devil Reign, and it had Marvel with the Top Cow characters, Image characters.
Yeah, that was
that the first Devil's? That was the first Devil's Reign.
Yeah, and there was when they first announced it, I said Mark Silvestri going to sue somebody.
Okay, because that's what I remember. I got all of them with Michael Turner doing some of the comics. It was a cool run.
Yeah, it was Marvel Top Cow crossovers from like 98, 99, maybe 2000.
Yeah, and that's why I thought that still had to, because the main villain was Mephisto, and I thought maybe that was still tied in together. But okay, thank you.
I don't think it also got with it.
Lade Kramer, is there any buzz for Reckoning War or She-Hulk? Which one are you more excited for, Fatal J?
Neither, because I won't be reading none of them.
What? You're not on board for Reckoning War? Doc's on board, right?
Man, you got to remember, I'm a 90s guy. Like, I'm buying all the comic books my mama didn't buy me when I was younger. I'm trying to catch
I went through
up.
that phase already.
I'm a Image Comics 90s man, Marvel DC 90s man. So I'm still in the 90s, man.
I need you to go get that Valiant stuff, man.
Refresh my memory. Reckoning War. Whose storyline?
Dan Sloth.
Fantastic Four story he's been working on for 15 years.
I heard it's been good, Fantastic Four, but I haven't been on his run, his Fantastic Four run.
It's Dan Sloth. I mean, what do you expect?
I'm not excited for it. In fact, in the Marvel video that I make, I might trash the idea of even doing it.
Honestly, it has more promise as an event that never happens. Dan Sloth's been mentioning the Reckoning War for 15 years and make it better for it to never happen. And kind of like Dan Slott's career, be very anticlimactic.
I like his Spider-Man. I liked his Spider-Man and Superior Spider-Man, but that was about it.
A lot of people like his Superior Spider-Man. Yeah. What do you think, Jim? What are the things that they announced? Are you excited for any of that stuff?
Yeah, I got the review copy of the Donny Cates Hulk, so I'm excited for that. That seems to be pretty promising. What else am I looking forward to?
You're not looking forward to Gwenverse?
No, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm not looking forward to Spider-Man. I might drop it again. Not digging the new direction.
It's been terrible. This last issue was terrible.
Trash. Well, I do like Ben Reilly though, but
Queen Goblin coming up.
Not into that. I'm into Thor. I want to see Donny Cates get back to some epic storytelling, especially that kind of futuristic tease that we saw of Thanos. Like, I kind of want to get to that. I'm digging Nice House on the Lake. I know it's going on a hiatus now for a little bit, but digging that series. There's a lot of stuff that I'm reading that I'm into. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head right now though. But
we got Kenneth Dowling says the Matt Murdock in prison arc is the big miss in Daredevil.
Yeah.
Everything else is great. I agree. And the Elektra stuff that's going on at the same time is fine. It's just him in prison has gotten so boring and monotonous. There's been 3 times when he should have been released by now, and he keeps saying no. It's kind of stupid.
right.
Yeah.
He has a reservation, damn it.
It's kind of like Beast wanted to stay in jail in the animated series, and remember that first couple arcs.
Oh yeah. You know they bringing that back, that show.
I'm nervous, man.
I'm nervous.
You can't
too, bro.
mess with that, yo. If it doesn't have the same theme song, the same character, like artistic style,
Jim,
and then
you know what they gonna do. You know what they gonna, you know what they gonna do, because that X-Men that we love, it has some dope, deep stuff going on, but they're gonna try to put current event social media stuff into this one, and it's going to ruin it. It's going to ruin it.
This is going to be the X-Men. This is going to be current year politics and nonsense and bad animation, wearing the X-Men 97 name as a meat suit. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Look out for that video tomorrow in This Week in X-Men. Me and Doc and I are going to talk about that, as well as some very terrible X-Force that came out this week. That was a bad comic book. We got Brian with the Y. Doc, what were some good X-Men comics in 1997?
Honestly, X-Men and Uncanny X-Men were really good around that time. You were in the Steve Siegel, Joe Kelly era, and it was just after Onslaught, just after
Heroes Reborn's kicking off.
You were leading up to Onslaught and Heroes Reborn, and then you were following up in a universe that all the Avengers were gone with and the only heroes that were still in our universe were really Spider-Man and Hulk. And no, it was a good era. The X-Men ended up off in space a couple of times. You got into the Crimson Dawn stuff with Psylocke and Angel. And Angel ended up, or Archangel ended up reverting. He ended up getting his real wings back. He shed his metal ones and got his real wings back. And then it was kind of the beginning of what Remender ended up doing much, much, much later in Uncanny X-Force, where he would kind of shift back and forth between Angel and Archangel. He'd shed his wings and have the other ones come on. It was good. And there was 2 distinct personalities. And you also, actually, that was a great era for Iceman. It was the first time he had been heavily featured in an X-Men book since the Portasio Louise Simonson era on X Factor, where he
is that when they made him more powerful, like his powers?
Yes, that was when he was kind of getting over that trauma and exploring everything, because Emma had possessed him a few years prior, and basically
he's making ice golems.
Well, yeah, no, he wasn't making ice golems yet, but he was really because Emma, after she possessed it, basically came out and said, "You're quite possibly one of the most powerful fucking mutants on the planet, and all you do is turn yourself into a snowman."
Yeah.
And he really started exploring it, and it also explored him in a more leadership role, as well as him working out so much of his issues with his dad, like with his parents, and him being a mutant. So all that shit from the Cena Grace era was pointless because it had all been rectified 18 years prior. So none of that shit made sense. So yeah, X-Men and Uncanny X-Men in that era were really, really good. The Siegel and the Kelly era of X-Men and Uncanny get really underrated, but they're very, very good.
There you go. We've got Kenneth Dowling signing off. Still enjoy Donny Cates' store. Gimmick, I also hope he pays off the future Thanos stuff. Very curious for his upcoming Hulk run. Guys, as always, it's been a blast hanging with you. Till next time, peace. Well, thank you very much. And I think we are all jazzed about Donny Cates, Ryan Otley, Hulk.
Although
we have-
when we got that little snippet on Free Comic Book Day, I wasn't really in love with the direction they were going, but I'm just gonna have faith and see how it goes. Sorry, Drew.
Oh, I was just gonna say real quick. We had Donnie in our store not too long ago, and he did his very first ever sketch of Hulk himself in a comic. So send it off to CDC, waiting to get that back.
How it
He's
look?
a
It
little bit
didn't
of
look
an
like.
artist.
Oh, it looked good because
No,
Stan Lee did stick figures, so you know.
Well, it looks like it's an angry face, so it looks like an angry Mo Howard kind of if you look at it. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Kenneth Dowling, for supporting the channel. We've also got Dio Start Productions. This is getting kind of sad. Is Marvel really trying to make an event of Miles Morales being a derivative of heroes that already have derivatives? Yes, and they're doing the same exact thing with Gwen Stacy in Gwenverse. That's like one of my frustrations, Drew, is Miles seems like a character that there's enough people know his name. He could be something very, very big, not only in comic books, but beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's getting treated almost the exact same as Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider.
I was going to say he's the Marvel equivalent of Jace Fox right now. It's like you have a character, we already know Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and Batman. It's like now you got these two characters who are more or less they're trying to bump up to those roles, but they can't pass them. They have to make their own legacies. You have to get them out from under those code names. You have to create whole new character names for these characters for them to grow. And they won't.
Because not only do they have the same name and powers and everything, it's the same origin retold, just slightly different. So what do you do after you run out of that material? Where's the original stuff that defines them as a character? And that's kind of the hard part, Like, what's the defining Miles Morales? The Clone Saga? That's not even his thing. No. He had the good Bendis origin, which was dope, right? His Green Goblin was a little bit different or whatever. But what's his, like, epic?
The only thing that was unique about Miles was he had a really terrible temper and had bad impulse control initially in the Bendis Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, and the minute they brought him over here, all that shit went away.
Yeah,
and now he's just
Venom strike and hurt somebody.
Yeah, now he's just not Peter. That's all.
What about how every new Spider-Man is always got more powers or is more powerful than Peter Parker?
So they would Captain Marvel. Okay, keep giving her more powers and make her more cooler. I don't get it. You can't make a great character cooler with more powers. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, you got to have their own adventures. They got to establish their own legacy. Well, we got Lade Kramer West. Don't crap on my girl Spider-Gwen, aka Gwen.
That was cool it was cool for Edge of the Spider-Verse, but for like continuing after that, like what are we doing?
Hey, what is Spider-Man power level though? Can he lift a car up? Can he lift a car?
Yeah.
You can lift multiple cards.
If you look at the back of 1990s trading cards and all that,
I miss those cards. Love them.
He can lift about, I think they said about 20 tons.
Yes.
So,
when Doc Ock became Spider-Man, he accidentally started murdering people because he didn't realize how powerful Peter actually was, because he's always holding back.
You know what's always interesting about power levels? Like Carnage originally came out and was supposed to be stronger than Venom and Spider-Man combined or something like that. And that's why they had to team up against him. But you don't really get that vibe ever from Carnage that he's stronger than them, right?
No, I always picked like he's more agile, quicker,
sharper knives and stuff.
And more brutal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there we go. Well, let's start wrapping this bad boy up. It's time to talk about some comic book recommendations. Before we get into that, Jim, is there anything you've got coming out on the MInt Collectibles YouTube that the viewers need to know about?
MInt Collectibles YouTube. It's a lot of the same stuff that I've been doing, man. The new statue unboxings, the weekly comic book reviews, the omnibus stuff, man. Ever since I got back into single issues, I have like no time to read the omnis and do reviews like I used to, but I still do some haul videos. The big thing I'm doing now is doing comic book auctions on Whatnot. If you guys are familiar with that, the Whatnot app is basically a live auction combined with eBay in the sense that it's got its own built-in payment system and shipping system, and it's super convenient. So I'm going to be on there Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Give me a follow. And on Black Friday on my channel, I'm going to do a comic book auction live with Nick Barucci from Dynamite and Ramseyverse Comics and maybe somebody else. So if you guys are into auctions, might get some great deals. I know for my Whatnot auction, I'm doing a bunch of hardcovers, which is like.
Oh, dude, I think you broke up for a second.
No.
It was just so epic. It broke. Yeah, it froze.
It broke the internet.
Dang, I thought it was my computer.
I think maybe we lost support there.
I lost you, but I think you guys probably caught most of what I said. But.
It was just too awesome. That's what it was.
It was my damn Ethernet cable. But yeah, all those books, man, they're all sealed. They might have some dings on the corners or whatever, but it's going to be Omni auction starting at $1 this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on Whatnot. So set your profile up and all that good stuff, and follow me on there.
Absolutely. Do you have any comic books you're recommending this week? They don't obviously have to be new this week or anything you've read lately that you think people should definitely be reading right now.
I mean, Spawn's in a good spot right now. If you guys want to jump into Gunslinger and King Spawn, even the ongoing Spawn is good. I think if you really, I feel like this crowd is kind of like this panel. Like we like the 90s, we like the cool stuff, and Spawn's doing that. Get caught up on Nice House on the Lake. I love that. It feels like an indie story. What else is going on besides? Yeah, I like Thor. Venom #1, the Al Ewing Ron V. I kind of dug it. It just felt like a continuation of Donny Cates' run. So if you were into that, they're keeping that moving. What's going on for DC? Yeah, DC. I love Detective. I know my man Infamy in the chat can't stand it, but I know that Drew said he liked it. I'm loving Detective, man. I think it's super dope.
Yep.
I find myself dropping a lot of DC titles. I'm struggling to think of what I'm even liking on there besides Detective, man.
I like Robin.
Robin's the first.
Robin, one with Williamson and Gleb Melnick.
Oh yeah,
Damien.
I like that. Okay, I do like Nightwing, even though Tom Taylor, it's kind of him not going full Jonathan Kent, son of Kal-El, but it has some heart to it. I kind of like his Nightwing run. Although it got bogged down with 3 tie-in issues to Fear State, so that kind of sucked.
Yeah.
What else is good? I'm trying to think of what else I'm liking on the indies. I like Berserker. Berserker, super dope. You know what's some great books, man? Out of Body is great from Aftershock. I like Basilisk from what's it called? It's Cullen Bunn, as well as Lucky Devil on Dark Horse by Cullen Bunn.
Lucky Devil is really good. I like Lucky Devil.
Very cool series. Kind of all I could think of right now.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Fatal J. Is there anything happening on the Fatal J show that people need to know about?
Fatal J show. I'm just going to continue bringing the comedy and making a fool of myself content. Comic books I recommend is Ninja Blast. Ninja Blast is just about done with the shipping. Thank you guys for supporting. And a comic book that I'm reading, Willis Pistachio, Wet Works, an old Image comic book. I love that book. I think it's underrated. And every time I say Willis Pistachio, I think of potato salad.
I think he's underrated. You never hear anyone talk about him, but he was right there in
got
the
a
mix.
Kickstarter coming out soon.
Well, Willis Pistachio, he was supposed to be the 7th Image comic
founder,
book,
right?
8th, actually.
Oh, I mean 8. Yeah.
There were 2 people that were never partners, and it was Chris Claremont and Willis Portasio. Chris didn't because it was weird for a writer, and Willis didn't because Wetworks got delayed for a very long time because his sister got very, very ill, and he ended up back in the Philippines taking care of her for a number of years, like probably about 2 years while she was ill. Wetworks got super delayed, ended up not being a launch title, and he ended up not basically losing his place as a partner as a result. He ended up as a partner in Jim Lee's Homage Studios, which eventually became Wildstorm.
I feel like a lot of people love art and think it's Jim Lee, but it was really Portasio that they're thinking about.
But you know what, Doc? You just blew my mind. I didn't know Chris Claremont was one of the potential Image comic guys, because can you imagine Chris Claremont writing all those comic books in the beginning? That would have been sick.
He, like everyone else, came in with his own creation. His was called The Huntsman, and he used. If you look around that era, the Huntsman character appeared in a number of the Image titles. It Cyberforce, Wildcats,
You right.
possibly Youngblood. I don't remember about Youngblood.
The husband was the
and-
guy that had like that
Very
blue
good, you
jacket, right?
guys.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
We're
sorry,
signing off. We're not
All
going
right, I'm
down a
sorry,
new
I'm
road.
sorry. But just Doc blew my mind with that one because I never heard of Chris Claremont. But guys, check out Wet Works, Willis Patachio. Probably one of the dopest underrated comic books out there. And
Is
thank you
Ninja
for having
Blast
me.
2
Wes.
going to be a thing?
Ninja Blast 2 is happening with bigger and better art. I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be nuts. It's gonna be
All right,
nuts.
there you go. Carrie, what could people expect over on Nerdy Girl Crates? You got anything big planned up for the next week?
Well, tomorrow I'm going to be doing my first box review for Manga Monday, and we're going to take a look at the Demon Slayer box set. And also, I have been reading a couple of mangas I wanted to recommend. The first one is called Hell's Paradise. It's about an assassin in feudal Japan who gets caught in order to save his life. He has to go to this mysterious island to find an elixir to save the shogun, but faces down with a whole bunch of people who are far worse than him. The other one is... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
The other one is The Witch and the Beast, which is supernatural fantasy with a team, kind of like think X-Files, but with somebody who has powers of magic, and the other one who's cursed by a witch to be a beast.
Very nice. I got my wife 2 volumes of The Way of the House Husband.
Oh, I love that one.
So hopefully she's going to like that one.
Yeah, I love that.
All right, Drew, what do you guys got going over at Comics League? You got some covers we're going to talk about here on the channel. We talk about the best of the week tomorrow. Got anything else popping off?
So we're gonna talk about those comics later. But I'm gonna say, since Jim Mint is here, I'm perusing this weekend just for a fun read. Justice League International. This is a fun omnibus read right here. You want to have a good time? Read that.
They got 2 volumes of that thing. So you're gonna have to get the other one.
Yeah, I do. I got that at home. I just got that, so I'm going through volume 1 right now, rereading that.
Nice. I gotta read. I haven't read that, but I like that. It's kind of like Copper Age DC, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love it. And I'm launching my comic on Kickstarter in 2 weeks. It's going to be up and running. So yeah,
we're going to be talking about. You got any other comics to recommend?
We'll talk about those later.
Absolutely. We also got You Murdered That Guy wants to invite everyone to check out his channel to discover the esoteric secret hidden something in comic books. So check out You Murdered That Guy's channel.
What that mean? Guy. What does that mean?
Well, you're gonna have to bust out a dictionary.
Go.
Explain it to you.
Okay. Well, how do I get his channel? His channel is You Murdered That Guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool name.
I mean, you got me. That's like clickbait to the core right there. So I got to see what
Absolutely.
you're talking about.
He's a great guy. He's been supporting the channel for a long time, so I really appreciate that. Is there anything to recommend this week? There's going to be a video up with Drew and I tomorrow. This is going to be a weekly thing where we talk about the best comic books of the week. So definitely check out Ninja Blast. Support Jibbet. Sounds like he's got a fantastic omnibus auction that's coming up. $1 potentially for an omnibus is absolutely fantastic. I believe there will be some competition for it, but I imagine you're going to get some good prices on that.
I would, yeah, for sure.
And thank you very much to everybody. And we'll see y'all next week. We're going to do an Ask Us Anything. I'll be soliciting for questions, and then I'll try and shore up the panel early so we know who's going to be here. Thank you all, everybody.
Right.
Wash your ass
with a loofah.
Then wash your hands.
With Fatal J's loofah.